Loved you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah, always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah, with you the summer came and went in a day. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah. When you're miles away, yeah, you can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind, always in my brain. With you the days are long and the nights are late. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. Ooh, and I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. Anyway, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah. Forget anyway, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah. Loved you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah, with you the summer came and went in a day. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah. When you're miles away, yeah, you can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind, always in my brain. With you the days are long and the nights are late. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. Ooh, and I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Loved you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah. With you the summer came and went in a day. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. Oh, no, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. Feeling it when you're miles away, yeah. You can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind, always in my brain. With you the days are long and the nights are late. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. Ooh, and I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. To forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Loved you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Always on my mind, always in my brain, yeah. With you the summer came and went in a day. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside.
Woo, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the MLSA, the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy, Week 2, Day 4. Today we have some bangers on the schedule. That's right, we have Straw Hats going against the Survey Corps in a best of 3. After that, we will be seeing Dark Immortals versus Nefarious, one of the kings of the hill, be able to hold that title and break records. Next, we'll have in Series 3, Excellent Era. First time ever being to see that team compete for the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy. And then another new team to see compete. But the grand finalists in North America, only beaten by the Valley, we'll be seeing them face off against the Simpsons. But enough about that. Let's talk about Game 1, Series 1, Straw Hats versus the Survey Corps.
Yeah, let's get right into it. So we've seen both of these teams, right, compete this week. the Survey Corps, right? A team I'm conflicted in this match, right? Because I have stated I've become a little bit of a fan of Survey Corps, but of course, Straw Hats here. My team here, along with Steph Weezy, right, that we've been working with, coaching them up, trying to get them to move up to that professional level into the esports community. And both of these teams, right, and I've stated this one the first week, I feel like these teams kind of play similar. Obviously, TSC a little more polished in the play style, but both of them like to get aggressive in that early game. But on the side of Straw Hats, right, where they kind of fall off after that mid game, the macro kind of falls down a level, you can see the difference, right, and kind of that newer team, right, the beginning, those struggling stages of learning what it takes, right, to close out those games, because it doesn't end right in the laning phase. TSC, though, on the other end, knowing how to close out those games, it's going to be a matchup that I'm really excited to see. We're going to see who's going to perform better in this play style, and hopefully, right, Straw Hats coming out tonight, making those adjustments, making the tweaks to kind of match TSC in that late game macro decision making. And if that's the case tonight, we're going to have a crazy best of 3 scrim tonight.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, definitely place your votes as we do have the poll open on who will win Series 1. Straw Hats, the upcoming team, led by Coach Deku and a little bit of assistance by myself, versus the Survey Corps, one of the top teams in the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy. We've seen them kind of climb up there and hold 3 wins in a row for King of the Hills. So definitely not the easiest team to kind of stack up against, but if any team can do it, it's definitely Straw Hats with the commitment that we've seen them put in, always in voice chat, always working on, the draft and perfecting their craft. So we are going to jump into the draft for today, looking at both sides. Straw Hats taking out that Wanwan, taking out that Fredrin, and is also going to take out that Carmilla.
Absolutely. We do see those familiar faces getting taken out. But the Fredrin, you said, is a little different, right? To see Fredrin banned, I suspect that's either a bit of respect ban there. You know what? Today, I actually realized Yupo is a Supreme Fredrin, the #1 Fredrin in Canada. So it might be a bit of a respect ban there. I was a little confused on what that might be, but now it all makes sense as I recall that fact about the side of the Survey Corps.
Yeah, definitely seeing Fredrin have more of that dominant posture inside of the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy. One of the most picked XP lanes. Speaking of most picked, Martis being taken off of the board alongside Kaja. That little dynamic duo of meta right there. Joy just never ever going to make it into any of these games. So nothing too out of the ordinary. Just kind of your generic bans from both sides. A little of NA drafting at its finest right there. But the question is, there are still some picks on the board. And ladies and gentlemen, Samurai Dilf taking the Leomord. Definitely probably one of the strongest junglers available and a solid first pick on the side of Straw Hats.
Absolutely, and it would have been a contested pick either way for these teams. We've seen Nateman on that Leomord, and we've also seen Kancha on that Leomord as well. Both of their top picks kind of in that jungle position. But speaking of top picks, we see Face Ripper, the former threat on the Gusion, kind of converting over to the Julian now, has been performing on him. I think he's played him in the last 3 or 4 matches. The last couple outings, it's been all Julian gameplay, and it's all been successful, right? TSC not dropping any games recently, currently on a 5-game win streak.
Definitely on a win streak indeed. And speaking of streaks, we see Ballman, one of the best junglers in prior patches. It's going to be interesting, right? 2 heavy frontline composition fighters running that jungle position. We know Ballman has that lethal counter, kind of work in his favor with that retribution, but we've kind of seen Leomord take that place as the top jungler right now, and it's going to be interesting indeed, but we don't see the retribution unlocked on Samurai, so maybe a little bit of a flex pick deciding if that's really where they want to slot him. But speaking of slots, you see Face Ripper taking up that Julian, and we've seen, his capability on a lot of these heroes, the Gushin, a lot of assassins, and also running on the Julian itself is definitely to be something you have to watch out for. Julian with those enhanced chains for the knockup, giving heroes a lot of a hard time with some additional CC in their favor. But speaking of assassins, Concha locking in Gushin.
Absolutely. And speaking of those picks being locked in, you noted outright the Leomord not having the retribution. Kind of slipped my mind there for a second, but obviously I have a little more insight, right, with Straw Hats. I kind of got my hand involved with them. like I said, one of these teams, right, that aren't afraid to take that initiative, right, to try out new things, to practice, to review, to analyze, go over their work. And I do recall Samurai mentioning this Leomord potentially going to be slotted in the XP to kind of throw these teams off and allow them a little more flexibility in these drafts. Like I said, this team has been working extremely hard. We've all seen it, right? Straw Hats is really up there as far as activity. They're very hungry and eager to become one of those teams on the professional side to be wary of. But speaking of things to be wary of, we do see UPO lock in this Atlas for the side of TSC.
Now, this looking at the draft for the side of the Survey Corps, you have the Atlas for the Fatal Links combination. You have Julian over there in that enhanced chain knockup. That is a lot of CC on their side, and also a lot of frontline presence. Looking at the side of Straw Hats, having that Lunox with that brilliance to be able to escape that Fatal Links may be a possible plan, and also the damage to kind of burst down those beefier heroes. They got the guaranteed early game as well from Concha over there on Gushin. Possibly, definitely going to be a Gushin, most likely in the jungle, and the Leomord in the XP, but they can kind of swap. We've seen Gushin in the XP lane as well. Maybe not in the MLSA, and if they do slot it in the XP, that might be a first time, but it still works, right? But looking at their draft, they don't have a lot of CC to work in their favor. So the question is, going forward, who are you going to slot in that roam position? You know you're going against that Atlas. You know Diggy's been slotted off the table, maybe even picking up a choice like the Akai to kind of use that heavy spin to keep him at bay while you go for these neutral objectives. May kind of work in their favor, but the question is that a pick the Survey Corps will allow to walk?
Absolutely the question indeed, and we will get an answer here shortly. It will go ahead and slide through, but Grok, the wild charge, will not. But like you said, the Akai is still going to be available for the side of Straw Hats if they choose to do so and put that in place to kind of counter out that Fatal Links and let that heavy spin kind of handle that back line. Speaking of things that being handled, Leslie getting taken out right now, not wanting to deal with that true damage, right? A lot of people are kind of struggling dealing with Leslie, and as well as Beatrix, something people have been struggling to deal with. And she's been a force in the MLSA this week, one of the highest pick, one of the highest win rates, right? So definitely not something you kind of want to let go. But speaking of let go, looks like TSC is going to let their hair down a little bit and lock in the Clint, not too often slotted in the MLSA so far.
Now, Clinton, knowing he's that marksman that can kind of scale over time and have that late game damage, but the question is, who will Straw Hats put against him in that gold lane? Now, like we said, Akai has walked. They do need an answer for Atlas. Is right now, I mean, you do have a little bit of mobility on your side with Gushin. You do have a little bit of a safeguard over there on that Brilliance from Soul on the Lunox, also stacked up with that Purify. But like we said, Atlas still can be a possible problem, as there's not really any direct counters to keep him away. So we definitely want to see what they are going to slot against. A little bit of coverage over on the Kufra, trying to wonder if that is a possible denial for it, but I don't know if that's going to give him the easiest time stacked up against that Atlas. And indeed, they decide to lock him in and combo it with 1804 over on Claude. That will be a Claude versus the Clint in the gold lane, and we know how well 1804 performs on these marksmen, but that is a late game marksman. You are going to have to play a little bit safer and try and provide that late game damage your team needs. Definitely need to play a passive playstyle and wait for the ganks created over there by Concha on that Gushin to try and rush in and take out more.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned passive, right? Because on a marksman player like 1804, that's the least that you'll probably get from him is a passive, definitely on that aggressive side. But we do know Claude is one of his comfort picks in that gold lane. Has a little bit of a matchup to go against, right? Like you pointed out, the Clint. Kind of a tough laning phase for Claude, right? Isn't able to really trade into that. You got to find a way, right, to be able to secure some of that gold from those minions in the wave. Definitely have to swing over some assistance to that gold lane. Hopefully the Kufra will be able to make those rotations, right, to maybe potentially babysit and open up some pocket space for him to be able to farm. Don't need to win the fights. Don't need to go for the trades. You just need the farm, right? The scaling that we know Claude needs to kind of get online. He is going into some knockups. There's a Kadita, there's a Julian with the chains, obviously the Fatal Links. So there's a couple ways that the Blazing Duet can get canceled out. He's going to have a tough battle, right? An uphill battle to kind of navigate, not only through the laning phase, but also into the team fights. Speaking of one of the team fights, though, we're starting to load into the match.
Now, both sides finalizing their draft. We have the Survey Corps One of the best teams in the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy, able to pull off 3 wins in a row against 3 different teams, almost breaking the record against Straw Hats, up and coming, newer kind of team, but still nonetheless have the practice, have the synergy. But the question is, who has it more? As we do embark in the land of the Dawn, we are looking at Concha on that Gushin jungle, an assassin jungler stacked up against one of the beefiest jungles in prior Golden Child, Ballman.
Absolutely. From the side of Straw Hats, right, with this composition, we've already pointed out, right, that the gold lane is going to need some help. So I think for the best case scenario, what's ideal for them is to kind of give up those early neutrals, right? Let those turtles go into the hand of Nateman. You're going to have a very tough time trying to secure that against the lethal counter, even with the recent nerfs, right, to Ballman's lethal counter on those neutrals. It's still not a battle you really want to take. It's already a disadvantageous position, but you have the assassin locked in, so they could potentially just go ahead and move that rotation over to the gold lane, get Mar some assistance, or give 1804 some assistance, and make it a little harder for Mar over there in the gold lane.
I definitely agree with that. Needing to kind of focus in on the gank for the bottom side. That might be one of the keys to victory today. The gold lane will kind of pave it out. If you allow 1804 to kind of win that lane, provide him some additional assistance, he will be able to give that damage with that blazing duet that the team so dearly needs. But on the other side, Mar as well, with that grenade bombardment, having that late game marksman damage will also be crucial for the side of the Survey Corps. Now, we do think, looking at Norzy, he does have that Atlas, and we don't really see too many direct counters to kind of go against him. So the question is, how will Straw Hats operate with Norzy in the battle on Atlas? You do see a little bit of a stun, a little bit of knockup by Kadita, and Soul taking some serious damage as we are going into that 2-minute mark. These teams are preparing for this turtle to spawn in, but Gushin rushing in onto Face for a little bit of over aggression, and down he goes to Nateman, giving the jungler on the side of the Survey Corps 1 kill. No, actually another kill on the side of the Survey Corps as they take down Hawaiian as well, and that will give him a 2-0 advantage and also allow them to start pushing in this turtle with no contest.
Absolutely no contest. And from the side of Straw Hats, I don't think there was any thoughts there, just vibes. Concha going in Silly Willy for that kill. Definitely not the play to make, especially right with the timer on that turtle coming up. You know the members of TSC are looking to group up. Speaking of group up here, though, we see a little action in the jungle.
TSC realizing they have the advantage, trying to delay that blue buff and take all the farm they can. The Rough Wild Ways for a means of escape by Face Ripper, but Gushin trying to rush in. You do see the momentum over there by Samurai, trying to get the kill onto Face Ripper, using that Rough Wild Ways to escape. Quite going in though. Samurai using that momentum again and getting a kill, but Yupo taking him down in the process for a 1-for-1 trade.
Absolutely. Speaking of 1-to-1 trades, the side of Straw Hats needs to find a way to trade out, right? They need to start making these rotations to the gold lane. We've already pointed out kind of where they need to focus at. Currently not really making that location their destination, right? They need to start making that trip down to the gold lane. We do see them grouping up. Speaking of group up, though, a couple of key components, right, coming in the terms of items. We do see 1804 closing in, right? He has the 3 components leading into DHS almost online with that. We do see the side of Ballman over there with that Molten Essence going to speed up that clear, right, up against Concha, who's already been kind of put down in this rotation as far as clearing, right, with those early kills. So right now, definitely going to lead into the favor of TSC as far as the items right now.
Definitely leaning in their favor, and also up by 2 kills and a little bit of a gold advantage with about 1,300. And that's what we kind of seen in the early games. The over aggressiveness from Straw Hats a little too early. You want to kind of play safe and wait for that neutral objective, because if you lose that clash, not only do they win in kills, but they also take that objective. But speaking of objectives, Fatal Links with the Petrify, Rough Wild Ways by Face Ripper able to get the kill on to Hawaiian, and down goes the roam for the side of Straw Hats. Now 4-1, and we are starting to see a little bit of an advantage, a snowball pile up on the side of the Survey Corps.
Definitely, and where the advantage could have been put for the side of Straw Hats is starting to get taken away from them, right? They're getting beat out to the gold lane, obviously getting beat out in the jungle right now, as we do see Nateman does take that blue buff from Concha over there on that Gujin, which is definitely going to limit some of those plays he'll be able to make. But speaking of things being limited, 1804 starting to break through the barrier. We did see him pick up that Demon Hunter sword, Clock of Destiny going to the hands of Face Ripper, so a couple important items, right, getting picked up from both sides to increase some of that damage. Speaking of damage here, though,
you see the brilliance by Soul to escape Face Ripper and Norzy's 2v1 play, but Turtle going down to half health. looking like Mar is going to be able to burst down. Nateman using that lethal counter to secure it, and that will be another turtle in the hands of the Survey Corps, slowly piling up this gold lead, now up by 3,000. An insane jungler over there on the side for Nateman as well, as he is now contesting the red buff and is going to go ahead and take that. Fatal Link's on the bottom side, connecting onto 1804. No help to assist him against Face Ripper, Norzi, and Mar, and down he goes. And now you are seeing this tower fall in the hands of the Survey Corps.
We do see it fall into their hands. Ooh, speaking of falling here, though, Samurai was taking a little bit of damage. The side of Straw Hats, right, like I said, they need to find somewhere to be able to trade out. We've seen Concha go to the top side and be able to get that red creep. Speaking of creeping here.
The 3v1 situation, looking like Samurai able to get a kill and picking off Yupo right there, just going right back in with that Shadow Stampede, realizing he had his team to kind of help him close that deal. Speaking of closing, do you see lethal counter going down on Soul, using the Brilliance to escape it, but quickly bursted down by Mar over there on the Clint. They are able to take that tower as well in that process for the mid lane, and down goes Hawaiian, not able to escape Nateman, Norzi, and Face Ripper. The trifecta over there on the blue buff, just continuously invading and stealing their farm. But speaking of stealing, a little answer back as the top tower falls from the side of the Survey Corps in that process.
Absolutely. And I mean, on the side of Straw Hats, right, we kind of pointed out their composition, right, and the draft there. And I feel like they're having a hard time. Weren't able to find those pickoffs in the gold lane in the side of TSC, finding the team fights that they want, right, with all those powerful ultimates, synergizing and stacking up. But speaking of stacking up here, though, another quick check at the items. Whoa, but hold up, another check down here.
Oh, little quick rotation by Norzi over there. And this is what we said about that Fatal Links. Just very hard to deal with, especially if you're out of place without your team on your side. And Norzi just having some solid positioning to create that opportunity to even further the lead that the Survey Corps already has. You do see a little bit of stun on Hawaiian, though, caught in a bad situation, trying to rush out with the Tyrant's Revenge, but unable to connect, and Mar bursting him down over there on the cloud. But on the top lane, you do see Yupo securing that kill, taking down Samurai, which kind of allow him to proxy these minions, allow this turtle to be pushed in for the side of the Survey Corps, and just starting to pile up on all these objectives and presence on the map.
Absolutely. And while we have a little bit of positive in action here, we can talk about what else is piling up on the side of TSC. We did just see that Berserker's Fury, right, getting locked in on Mar with the Clint, already sitting 2-0-3, having a nice early game, but now the item advantage.
Ooh, speaking of advantage, a little bit of a kill over there for the side of the Survey Corps. Again, taking out Concha, and this time secured by Face Ripper. That would be the first kill Face Ripper's got for the side of the Survey Corps, but still, nonetheless, the team is dominating this early game. Do you see a class going in a 4v1 situation? Samurai over there on the Shadow Stampede, trying to escape. Soul trying to use the Order of Chaos to push back Nateman, but no, the lethal counter is too far in, and down goes Samurai.
Down he goes, and now the side of Straw Hats falling more and more as far as the gold lead. They are down 7K, down 10 kills, and now potentially going to be down 4 towers. Speaking of people going down, though.
Concha able to get to the back line, taking out the Clint. Down goes Mar. A 2v1 situation, but confident on his ability with that Gushin and able to secure that kill and save that tower. But a request for a TP right now, a little bit of a technical pause from the side of the Survey Corps. So, man, this match has been insane, but definitely we are seeing a little bit of that early game advantage in the favor of the Survey Corps. We need to see a little bit more protection and objectives, and also focus for the side of Straw Hats.
Absolutely focus, falling into the side of TSC, though. Like I said, they both kind of have that same early aggression. I mean, we've seen, right, early on the aggression from Straw Hats, but misplaced, right, and getting punished for their decisions in that early game, which is what it really all going to come down to, who's going to execute better with these compositions. I do feel like, right, Straw Hats might have came in to the match, right, their first match. It is a best of 3, but a little more focus on trying out some new things. I would maybe like to point out for anyone viewing, it might not be the best idea, right, what they've done here in the XP with the Leomord being very strong, but in that position, right, in the XP, not really going to have much impact in the early game as he is kind of stuck, off in a distant lane. Speaking of distant,
you do see a fight over on the red buff. The over-aggression from the side of the Survey Corps. Blazing Duet going down. Soul going to kill onto Yupo. Down goes Julian. Nate Man with the 5v1 situation, but a little bit of backup. A connection with the Fatal Links for the double set and double kill as Face Ripper is able to use the Rough Wild Waves to secure that kill on that opportunity. You see Fatal Link going in on Samurai, getting that triple kill by Face Ripper on that Kadita, and Soul forced to retreat, which will open up the opportunity to take this inner turret by Mar, Face Ripper, and Norzy.
Absolutely, and I kind of want to point out, right, we're seeing Face Ripper on this Kadita. In the draft, I did believe he was going to pick up the Julian, right? We've seen him on that a lot. But on this Kadita, Face Ripper showing his versatility. That is not all assassins and flashy plays, right? He knows how to get it done with these mages. And I think it kind of contributes to the play styles. We're going to plays here, though.
Turns Revenge trying to connect. Face Ripper able to take out Hawaiian, just sneaking right under it with the Wild Rough Waves. Definitely a smart move indeed. And now they are going to go for this Lord. Looks like Straw Hat's in that awkward position, not going to be able to properly contest it as they are too far down right now in terms of gold. And down goes the Lord in the hands of Nateman.
Down it goes indeed into the hands of Nateman. Speaking of in the hands, we see some more items, right, being picked up. We did see that Malefic Roar getting put into the hands of Mar on this Clint. That's definitely going to boost up his damage. We see the Genius and Glowing Wand on the Julian. Also going to stack up the damage. But the durability, right? We can't dismiss it. Ooh, speaking of durability, though.
Blazing Duet going down by 1804, but unable to finish. Oh, Concha able to get that kill with Gushin. What a play. Now you'd see one member down for the side of the Survey Corps. Lord pushing in the mid lane. A little bit of the Shadow Stampede to kind of delay the Lord from crashing into that inhibitor, but not enough. You do see Clint able to get a kill on to Soul. Down goes Lunox in the process. A little bit of a proper set from Hawaiian trying to rush in. Decides not to, though. And down goes the Lord, and they are able to defend this inhibitor turret from the Survey Corps.
Absolutely, but I would like to see a little more awareness, right, from the side of Straw Hats here. Norwich does have Flicker up and the Fatal Links. They're grouping up quite a bit. Speaking of
the Fatal Links going in on the Flicker. Mar getting a kill onto Hawaiian. 1804 getting a kill onto Norzy. Nateman unstoppable takes out 1804. 3 members down for 1 in favor of the Survey Corps, and they are going to go ahead and try and close in on some of these inhibitors with only Samurai and Soul to defend.
Yeah, and I mean, as I say it, right, the members of Straw had just a little too grouped up, a little lack of awareness there, like a situational awareness, knowing what the side of TSC has to offer.
Oh my goodness, speaking of offering, speaking of capability, a little bit of a trifecta right there with enhanced chains and also the lethal counter to burst down Soul. Speaking of burst down, you see the enhanced sword popped out by Julian trying to rush away from Concha and Hawaiian, but an inhibitor on the top side does fall for the side of Straw Hats, and they are down to the wire right now. Only 1 inhibitor in their favor. The Survey Corps definitely dominating. They have a lot of insurance. They have every single tower for the most part, -1 on the top lane. They can afford these mistakes, but for the side of Straw Hats, you have to play safe. Norzy waiting for another Fatal Links is definitely going to go for a potential set and a game ender if Straw Hats is not careful.
Indeed, they definitely need to be careful here. The members are closing in right. They might even posture up for a finish. They are still there, but the minions are kind of get cleared out. They might get back for the retreat.
Ooh, Fatal Links used it a little too early, but able to secure a kill as Hawaiian is able to actually goes down. Clint getting a kill in that process, leaving only 3 members. 2 members as down goes Concha. Double kill for Yupo. A little bit of a stun on Samurai using the Flicker, using the Shadow Stampede, trying to escape. Barely getting out of that lethal counter, but there's 5 members on the side of the Survey Corps trying to close it out, and another member falls for the side of Straw Hats, leaving only Samurai to defend, and down goes the tower, and game 1 goes to the Survey Corps.
Absolutely, and I mean, like we said, we've seen the side of Survey Corps kind of execute and nail those keys to victory, right, that both sides kind of have to play into. But obviously, like we pointed out, a little more polish from the side of TSC. Speaking of polish, I would like to maybe see the side of Straw Hats maybe not switch it up too far, right, as far as drafting. A couple picks, a couple things a little strange, especially on that Leomord, right? The build there, finishing out with the Cursed Helmet, Dominance Ice, and Thunderbell. Not only a different position, but a different build path. none really leading to anything ideal or successful. Speaking of lead, though, we do see TSC Mar leading the way there on those towers, 62% damage, right, on those towers, along with a 28% damage in those team fights, right? Finding a way to get it done on both ends, a little bit of hyper carry action from Mar. Gonna have to find a way to slow him down in that gold lane in this upcoming match. Muted Weezy?
They lost that early game. They didn't have a plan and definitely need to kind of focus on these objectives. I think Straw Hats has the capability. The Kufra didn't really pop online to me. I was wondering when they slotted it, what was the game plan? But we just seen a little bit more presence on the Atlas without a direct counter, and the placement of that stacked up with Kadita on those wild waves. We've seen, a double set and a double kill just instantaneously from the side of the Survey Corps. So we definitely need to see a little bit more synergy, a little bit more focus on objectives, and a little bit of a stronger draft going into Game 2 for Straw Hats. We are jumping into the draft, though. You do see Wanwan being taken off of the board. Also, Joy, definitely nothing too out of the ordinary. Wanwan a little bit surprising. Maybe knowing that the Survey Corps has first pick, they don't want to deal with it. But looking at the draft, we know a little bit smarter drafting from the side of Straw Hats. Do not allow these picks that you don't have direct counters for, such as that Atlas. Definitely putting them in a harder position in that game.
Absolutely. And we've seen TSC kind of put the side of Straw Hats in a bad position there, moving that Julian, right? Kind of baiting out maybe even the side of Straw Hats, believing Julian won the face ripper, and then flexing it right over to the XP, and then moving in that Kadita to pair up with that Atlas. And that's kind of what happens when you kind of let that Atlas through as well, right? You unlock some other potential, some other combos that can come from that mid and roam pairing. Once you have that AoE set up, a lot of different damage dealers in that mid lane, like the Kadita, now is able to unleash for that full potential.
Definitely to the full potential. And like we said, the Survey Corps, in terms of tiers right now, definitely one of the best for the MLSA. So you have to bring your A game. And that all starts with the draft. You do see Kaja being locked out. A smart decision for the side of Straw Hats, as we know teams that kind of first pick that Kaja usually tend to have the game lean in their favor. Still some options on the board, though. We do know Martis is currently walking. Also the Leomord, the Carmilla, and you can't ban him out all out as you have 2 slots available. So the question is, do you ban 1 and let 2 walk, or do you not ban any at all and try and take 2 in your favor? Might be the smartest option for the side of Straw Hats right now.
Absolutely. And you kind of do want to let that happen, right? Because whatever you allow TSC to pick up on this blue side, right, they get the first pick, kind of the cream of the crop. But when you're on that red side, right, you get those 2 picks to fire back in response. And that's kind of where you want to answer in against those picks, right? Blue side picks, you kind of go for the counter option, right? That's the advantage, right? You get the response picks, you get the first pick out of ban, and you also get the last pick, right? So on the side of Straw Hats, you kind of want to see them maybe potentially play this draft out. We know for a fact something's walking, right? There's 1 ban left. There's a Martis, there's a Leomord, there's a Carmilla out on the board, right, to be able to play. Only one of those might potentially get banned, or none, right, to open up everything on the side for both of these teams.
Now, I do like the Valentina being taken out. A smart decision by TSC, realizing that there's still a lot of capability on the board and not wanting to let that land in the hands of Straw Hats. I don't think they were trying to plan on first picking it. And it looks like their plan is going to be to secure in that Leomord possibly, but we do know Martis is still available. Now, I don't know about you, Deku, but I think I would prefer the Martis over the Leomord if I had that option.
Me as well, right? I definitely like the Martis over the Leomord there. They're both really strong in that early game. They actually kind of fit kind of the same niche, right? Kind of being those reapers, but obviously Martis with that decimation, I think we both could agree, gets it done just a little bit better than Leomord over there in the hands of Nateman. Even those kind of those early skirmishes in between the 2 junglers, I just feel like Martis kind of gets that edge over Nateman, because without the Stampede, right, Leomord has been proven to be kind of weak. You don't really have much in favor of those matchups, but Martis without decimation still has that mortal coils, right? A serious threat in those kind of team fight situations, even when the ultimates are no longer available for both sides.
Now, They didn't pick him up, though, on the side of Straw Hats, and this is interesting. We do know on the side of the Cervicore, they kind of prefer that Julian and may possibly slot that in again. And they are going to also lock in that Beatrix, one of the highest marksmen picked for the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy, and definitely strong all the way from the early to late game. Able to scale over time, be the late game damage you need, and has the versatility between, Raynor, Namir's Passion, and also Wesker to kind of burst heroes down. But looking at the side of Straw Hats, kind of hovering over who they want to slot in for the first phase of the draft to close it out, and maybe a possible Khalid. I think a little bit of a troll pick. I think he's just hovering over as they think and kind of form that strategy. And I love teams that take their time. Use the clock to your advantage and make sure your team is on point. As we see a lot of teams that are kind of new into drafting, new into the tournament scene in the professional level, rushing the draft. You have 40 seconds to kind of talk together, build a draft around, and make sure you implement it when you go in the game. You see a lot of teams pick some out of the ordinary choices, like the Khalid in this one, and then not being able to perform with them in the game. Like I said, you need to have a game plan. So that wild card pick right there, I'm excited to see it, but kind of scratching my head on exactly why they chose it.
I can see the early aggression usage of it, right? We have pointed out both these teams like that early aggro playstyle, and that Valier and that Khalid with each other definitely complement to their playstyle. We've already seen the Valier on Soul, right? Used last night. They weren't able to secure that win, but he took an early 5-0 lead just by himself on the Valier, right? Taking advantage of that pocket pick, like you said. And I do think tonight we're seeing a lot of just testing the waters for the side of Straw Hats. I think they're kind of still trying to find their identity as a team. We do know they kind of figured out the lineup, but now where do we want to go in terms of draft? What's kind of our signature, right? We see the signatures over from the side of TSC, the picks they'll normally run, right? We see the Leomord again. We see the Julian. We know these things about TSC. We know where they'll go. But the side of Straw Hats, we never really know where they're going to go. And I think they feel the same, and that's kind of what they're trying to settle in on. Who are we as a team? So I can't knock them. I'm glad they're stepping out of the box, kind of trying to see what works for them. They're definitely using these scrims to their full intentional use, right? To kind of learn your team and learn how you fit in against these other teams. Speaking of fit in, though, they're going to throw in the Hilda as well on that play style. Interesting draft, nonetheless, from the side of Straw Hats. No matter what way you slice it, whether it's to learn or to game, it's going to be something to see.
Now, looking at the draft on the side of Straw Hats, you have a heavy, aggressive play style, so I'm expecting them to possibly try and invade a lot or go for a couple of ganks. In the department for them, though, they don't have a lot of CC. Yeah, you have the Valier with the Burst Fireball to try and get some stuns on to those heroes that try and rush in, but is that enough? As you're kind of relying on him to keep those heroes at bay. We do know they are able to perform really well on the Valier, though, so if anybody could do it, I definitely think it is Straw Hats with how much they kind of focus in on it. But the question is the hero itself enough? You are looking at Benedetta being slotted in by Face Ripper. Haven't seen Benedetta in the recent scrims, but definitely been picked up in the MLSA, and one of the best fighters who can kind of get it all done. You have the ability to split push, you have the sustainability to heal, you have the petrify to kind of rush in and keep somebody in place for that Electo, and then Norzi locking in that Mathilda for the sustainability for their team.
Definitely. And speaking on something locked in, I'm starting to hone in on what I just witnessed happen from the side of TSC, right? I was questioning it earlier in my head. I didn't point it out loud, but the Masha ban, right? I got to take a moment to point it out. We do know Masha, Samurai, loves to play it. We've seen him actually run it and find success on the back lines, I think against TSC when they even had that lane with a thunderclap. But if you look at the draft, right, in the first half of that phase, they picked up that Beatrix, and that came after the Masha ban was taken. And I think that was a little bit of a nod of respect. I think TSC has been keeping their eyes on these teams. Might be the reason why they're currently 5-0, taking out that pick, right, to disable Samurai and that XP to be able to counter out their Beatrix, who's already been having such high success in the MLSA, and now kind of going to give her a better play right now in this match.
Yeah, definitely a match to see as, ladies and gentlemen, we embark into the Land of Dawn. This is Game 2, Series 1. The Survey Corps currently holding 1 win under their belt versus the Straw Hats, who have to win this game to remain in this series. We are seeing some interesting picks. Hawaiian over there on that Khalid. We do see the Valier again over there by Soul. One of the best Valiers we have possibly seen. And then also a hero you don't see too often as Samurai locks in that Hilda.
Definitely. Speaking of lock in, already locking in on Benedetta and doing some pretty nice damage. So we might see some answers, right? See some utility already coming in from these picks. Like you said, the early aggression is going to have to be used.
Oh my goodness, the double combo. Soul and Hawaiian able to quickly take down Face Ripper for first blood in the hands of Straw Hats. And this is what we said, expecting a lot of aggression, especially with the team composition that they drafted, and nonetheless able to pull it off and get a kill in under 1 minute.
Absolutely. And I mean, from the side of Straw Hats, right, we already seen them exert that pressure that they have. And I feel like that's really their condition, right? Keep pushing the tempo. That's these picks right now. You're kind of on a timer, right? With Khalid, the Valir, the Hilda, you have to try to execute to your maximum capability, right, in this early game to try to maximize those picks. We're going to maximize here, though.
Yupo almost being bursted down by Hilda, but going back in, Nateman able to secure that kill with the 4v1 situation, not expecting the full team of the Survey Corps on that gank, and quickly realizes that that is a fight you cannot take, and down he goes. 1-1 right now in terms of kills. Both teams pretty even, but man, oh man, the aggression is definitely there. Two kills in under 2 minutes.
Absolutely. And I feel like Straw Hats, like we said, need to be able to force this pressure. You don't want to let TSC out-rotate you in this match, all right? Especially in the early. Even without the stronger early picks, right? TSC's rotations are almost top-notch and flawless in that early game, which leads to them having kind of those smoother mid and late game transitions. So on the side of Straw Hats, you can't let them beat you to the punch. You want to try to rotate better, and that's going to be a hard task, right? Going up against Nori's on the Mathilda, offering in all that extra mobility. Speaking of extras off the screen there, we do see Yupo, though, getting taken out ahead of this turtle.
Yupo going down, giving this slight advantage in the hands of Straw Hats. A 5v5 situation possibly underway, though. No, looks like a little bit of a 4v3. Rushing with the momentum. Samurai taking some serious damage. Circling Eagle connecting right on the dot. A bullseye, and down goes Samurai on that Hilda. You do see a little bit of healing over there by Hawaiian on that quicksand guard, but rushing back in, they are going to go for the fight. Norzi providing some sustainability on that Shadow Stampede, and Yupo rushing in with Benedetta, connecting on to Khalid, and down he goes. Nateman securing the turtle with the Retribution, and a double kill over there by Yupo on Benedetta, as down goes Concha, and Turtle does go into the hands of the Survey Corps.
Yes, we do see that fall into the hands of TSC, and for the side, right, ooh, a kill going into the hands. They do pick off Soul there, but speaking of things going into the hands, 3 members of TSC right now have that Fury Hammer locked in. That is some early flat pin coming in from 3 of the biggest damage dealers. Might be why they were able to kind of swing that fight in their favor against Straw Hats, who don't really have any of those damage items right now kind of unlocked, at least the early components, right, to match them. But speaking of match, Straw Hats needs to kind of align with each other and match up as far as communication. You could see right there in that turtle fight, I mean, they had the advantage, right? The 4v3 speaking of advantage, though.
Oh, you do see a lot of ultimates being used. Shadow Stampede circling Eagle to take down Hawaiian, not having the easiest time coming online. Now 0, 2, and 1, as well as Samurai on that Hilda. Like we said, if you run this heavy aggressive comp, you need to win these fights. But right now, having a hard time, as they are going to go in and try and take the blue buff, but Concha able to get that Retribution just in time. But a 6-2 lead in the hands of the Survey Corps 4 minutes in.
Absolutely. Ooh.
Circling Eagle right on the dot, but the kill was picked up by Face Ripper, increasing that kill lead to 7-2.
Definitely. And speaking of pickups, we do see some early items getting picked up, right? On the side of CSC, we've seen the Hunter Strike getting picked up by Nateman on this Leomord, almost picking up a kill there. And also on the hands of Face Ripper, right? Already unlocking that Genius Wand, unlocking that pin for both of them in this early game. Dominance Ice into the hands of Samurai to maybe fight back against some of this sustainability. But speaking of sustain,
a little bit of ping pong over there on 1804 as Nateman goes with the backdoor for the Shadow Stampede and clashes down, taking out 1804. But in the process, 1804 gets the kill as well, of 1-for-1 trade. But down goes the tower. Mara forced on the retreat in that 3v1 situation. A little bit of an answer back as Straw Hats is going to try and take a tower. Khalid unable to escape the tower and quickly bursted down by the quick Rainier snipe over there on Mar.
Absolutely. I mean, you can see the desperation, right, from Straw Hats. I think they know the position that they're in, right? Already falling behind and desperately trying to find something to connect right now. And nothing's really going in their way anymore. After those first couple kills in the early have definitely fallen behind. Speaking of falling behind, in between the marksmen, the gap right now is increasing as that Blade of Despair gets picked up by Mar as they transition to the Turtle.
Samurai trying to delay it, but Nateman able to get that Retribution. Electo pop down for some additional damage to secure this neutral objective in the hands of the Survey Corps, and deciding to wisely retreat and continue to farm. They know they have the advantage in gold. They're up 4,000 right now. Clash in the top side as Yupo having an easier time against Samurai on the Hilda now. Noisy able to get a kill in the mid lane as down goes Soul. Down goes that Valir we've been talking about. Concha getting a kill, answering back, taking out Face Ripper. A 1-for-1 trade in the mid lane.
Absolutely. And for trades, maybe, more action, though. Potentially, Nathan almost catching that ambush kill, right? And that bush is going to be able to find that blue buff for the invade uncontested there. Speaking of contest, we do see Yupo potentially picking up a kill here.
You do see Petrify combo with the Electo, and down goes Hilda, the heavy harassment, able to secure that tower. And man, speaking of towers, the mid tower falling into the hands of the Survey Corps, and also almost taking the top, but not doing damage to it as 1804 rushes in. But he is in a bad situation, a 3v1 situation. Circling Eagle going down, connecting with that bullseye effect. Oh, the snipe barely missing over there on Rainer for Mar. That swiftly swaps to that machine gun, a little bit of numerous passion to clear up 1804. You do see Straw Hats rushing in, now turning this into a 3v3, trying to get some revenge on 1804 falling, but disengaging, and that tower does go into the hands of the Survey Corps.
Absolutely. In the game right now going into the hands of the Survey Corps. They are currently up, right? 6K right now on the board. Also up 8 kills, right? A lot of kills going into the hands of the Survey Corps. Speaking of kills here, though.
Concho bursting down over there on Nateman. That Leomord is now out of commission, and we've said time and time again how good Gushin is right now. But speaking of the fights, you do see Valir trying to push back them from Hawaiian. Yupo on the backdoor play! Beatrix taking out Soul. Yupo taking out Hawaiian, and that will be 2 members down for the side of TSC, 1 member down still for the side of TSC, and 2 on the side of Straw Hats right now. But Clash still going in. They are trying to continue this heavy aggressive play, pushing down the mid lane. Mar getting the kill, taking out Samurai, leaving only 1804 and Concha to kind of fend off this mid tower.
Definitely trying to fend off right now. Speaking of fend off, let's take a moment to look at those items again right now. Looks like TSC is starting to roll away with it, right? We do see the side of them right now, the Benedetta, right, with the Yupo going confidently into those back lines. Now that he has the Bloodlust, the Brute Force, a lot of sustain, some durability, right, to be able to make those plays happen without too much backlash, right, without too much negative consequences. Definitely can get away with it. Speaking of get away, we do see Nateman pick up that Turtle, and Face Ripper picking up the Glowing Wands. More damage. Speaking of more damage, items left and right. They're going shopping right now. Blade of Despair and Malefic locked in. Speaking of locked in, though.
Oh my goodness, circling Eagle over on Conscious. He was not able to secure that kill with that incandescence, and now forced on the retreat. Norsy trying to get the kill! Rushes in and decides to go back out. Soul picking up that Ice Cream Wand for some additional slow on that Valir. But over on the top side, a little bit of a fight going on. 1804 in that bad situation again, and Nateman capitalizing with the Shadow Stampede, comboed with the Yupo, and down he goes. A little bit of an overextension with no protection from your team.
No protection from the team, no protection from the turrets. Got to know what type of area you are in, the territory you're playing in. Speaking of playing, though, in the jungle.
You do see a heavy fight going in for the side of the Survey Corps. They are trying to close this game out. Oh my goodness, Rainer's able to secure the kill on to Concha all the way in the base. What a play. We have a sniper on our hands right now as Mar is on fire. 4-0-4 KDA.
Definitely, and left and right, like we said, these members are locking in that damage in the side of Straw Hats. Not going to be able to slow it down, right? The early composition clearly out the window. The only late potential here is 1804, but sitting 1 and 3, getting targeted so hard from the members of TSC after being punished. We're going to be punished here, though.
Soul forced to use the flicker as TSC is not letting their foot off the gas, going for this mid-inner turret. Contra rushing in with the incandescence, trying to secure a kill onto the team of TSC, but unable to make anything happen, and deciding to peel off. TSC going for this farm now, trying to delay any opportunity in the hand of Straw Hats. And right now, you're seeing a 17-5 lead in kills, and in terms of gold, almost a 10,000 gold lead in the hands of the Survey Corps.
Absolutely, and that's definitely not something you want to see in your bank account. Down 10K K. That is an astronomical amount for the side of Straw Hats to overcome. And like we pointed out, with this composition, it's definitely not going to look pretty. You only got 1804, but you can't even secure any opportunity for them to farm. They're down in towers, haven't even picked up one of 5 tower lead in the hands of TSC. Not much room to work with, right? You're almost pushed into your inhibitors. In fact, they are pushed into their inhibitors. Besides that mid tower currently holding out for him to dear life. Speaking of holding out here, Lord gonna try its best maybe to survive this 1v2, but it probably won't happen. TSC can pick up that Lord and gonna go ahead and take that uncontested. The side of Straw Hats are gonna be in an uncomfortable position to try to defend this. They can't even defend against the members diving into this Yupo, definitely showing that he is able to dive through the team of Straw Hats and make it out of alive right now. So with that being said, with this Lord coming up in the top lane, it's not going to be a pretty sight to see them try to hold all 5 members plus this first Lord. And we do see that Mar did take down that turret. Speaking of taking down, it's going to be very easy for the members to take down Straw Hats. They can get a clean engage, all those damage items. We see 2 Blades of Despairs locked in right now. Speaking of locked in,
You do see a clash over for these inhibitors. Straw Hats on the defense, trying to push back the fury of the Survey Corps. You do see a rush in with the enhanced chains by Julian for a triple knockup onto Straw Hats, but not enough to secure a kill for his team. They are continuing with that push though. Straw Hats grouping up, preparing for this Lord to crash in on the top side. But the question is, can they fend off the Lord and the full team of the Survey Corps? Will they be able to stop them from taking this early finish as these minions are crashing in all of the towers? You do see Electo going in by Yupil as well to kind of clear some of the minions to allow this Lord to have an easier time bursting down that inhibitor, and down it goes on the top side. On the bottom side, minions crashing in as well, and it looks like 1804 caught by himself is going to go ahead and try and clear them, but a possible clash into 1804. Oh my goodness! Moore is a sniper! The American sniper at his finest, taking a tower and also taking a kill onto 1804 with that Rainer's apathy, which will leave only the mid inhibitor turret in the hands of Straw Hats. Can they keep them from pushing this one? And no, they can't. All inhibitors are now out of the game. And you see Mar again, the American sniper taking out Khalid, and they have minions in the base. They are going for this early finish. Concha, Soul, and Samurai left to defend, and down goes Concha to Face Ripper over on that Julian. And look at the tower quickly getting bursted down, not even focused on Samurai, getting the Petrify off as well and taking the game. And not only the game, ladies and gentlemen, the Survey Corps has taken the series.
Absolutely a clean sweep, but man, Mar was insane there that whole game. A man with a dream and a beam looking down to take down the rest of Straw Hats on this team here, and that is going to be a thorough beating there, 20-5, looking like Straw Hats might have to take it back to the drawing boards, right? Tonight, they're showing what they wanted maybe to go for, definitely not the right route. It's not going to fly here in the MLSA, no doubt, to say the least.
If you guys ever need a Beatrix build, just talk to Mar, right? You've seen this man on fire. KDA 605, just kind of leading the way, and that's what you want your gold lane to do, especially in those late game plays, is he'll have the easier time bursting down those towers, getting those one-shots over on the opposing side, as we kind of seen with that Rainer's apathy. A little bit of a look at the stats from both sides. You do see turret damage 100% over there by Soul on the Valir. That's the first time I've ever seen that.
100%, but only 29 damage, right? So not too much to compete with. And that kind of goes to that storyline that we said. They weren't able to open up that map at all, right? TSC not giving an inch whatsoever, but taking a mile, as we do see Mar with that 72%, 26k damage is insane for a turret. That's as much damage as some of his allies did in those team fights, right? So Mar getting it done on both ends, just like we seen him do in the last match with Clint. So able to focus on those objectives while being the position that he needs to be as far as the attack damage carry.
Speaking of the games, ladies and gentlemen, that will be Series 1, Straw Hats versus the Survey Corps, with the Survey Corps able to take that series. But don't go nowhere, as we do have Dark Immortals versus Nefarious next. In the top off the day, Excellent Era versus The Simpsons. Anybody that wants to sign up and compete, you're more than welcome to, as we are the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy. You have to sign up officially by joining the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy Discord server. Also, we are live on YouTube, so definitely stop by there for exclusive content and all of these matches live streamed. But like I said, grab your popcorn, grab your drinks, as ladies and gentlemen, we have another series on the way.
Loved you from the first time you called me lame. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah. With you, the summer came and went in a day, and I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. Oh, no, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. Feel it when you're miles away, yeah. You can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind, always in my brain. With you the days are long and the nights are late, and I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. Ooh, and I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, never, never wanna forget. To forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Loved you from the first time you called me lame. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah. With you the summer came and went in a day, and I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. Oh, no, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. When you're miles away, yeah. You can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind, always in my brain. With you the days are long and the nights are late, and I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. Ooh, and I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Loved you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah. With you the summer came and went in a day. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. Oh, no, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. I can feel you near when you're miles away. Yeah, you can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind, always in my brain. With you the days are long and the nights are late. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. Ooh, and I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, never, never wanna forget. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Loved you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah. With you the summer came and went in a day. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. Oh, no, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me.
Thanks to the ones that are here, but you know,
Yeah. Loved you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah. With you the summer came and went in a day. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. Oh, no, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me in when you're miles away. Yeah. You can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind, always in my brain. With you the days are long and the nights are late, and I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. Ooh, and I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah, yeah. No, never, never wanna forget. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Loved you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah. With you the summer came and went in a day, and I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. Oh, no, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah, yeah. I can feel you near when you're miles away. Yeah. You can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind, always in my brain. With you the days are long and the nights are late, and I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. Ooh, and I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah, yeah. No, never, never wanna forget. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Loved you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah. With you, the summer came and went in a day. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. Oh, no, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. I can feel you near when you're miles away. Yeah, you can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind, always in my brain. With you, the days are long and the nights are late. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. Ooh, and I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, never, never wanna forget. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Loved you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah. With you, the summer came and went in a day. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. Oh, no, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. I can feel you near when you're miles away. Yeah, you can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind, always in my brain. With you, the days are long and the nights are late. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. Ooh, and I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Love you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah. With you, the summer came and went in a day. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. Oh, no, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. I can feel you near when you're miles away. Yeah, you can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind, always in my brain. With you the days are long and the nights are late. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. Ooh, and I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, never, never wanna forget. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Loved you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah. With you, the summer came and went in a day. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. Oh, no, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. I can feel you near when you're miles away. Yeah, you can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back in the land of Dawn for Series 2, Week 2, Day 4 for the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy, and we have another match on our hands. We are seeing Nefarious, one of those teams that were able to maintain 4 wins in a row, going up against Dark Immortals, another up-and-coming team for the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy. This is going to be a best of 3. Looking at today's schedule, we did see Straw Hats versus TSC, the Survey Corps, able to steal that win for that series in a sweep. Now, like I said, Dark Immortals versus Nefarious. And then to finish off the day, we are going to be seeing Excellent Era versus the Simpsons. Excellent Era, first time seeing them compete in the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy. Super excited for that. And also the Simpsons, which is the grand finalist for North America, only taken down by the Valley. But like I said, we have a good match on our hands.
Definitely a good match on our hands, and I can't wait to get into it, right? We do have Nefarious versus Dark Immortals. Nefarious, one of those teams kind of finding their mark recently in the Scrim Academy, kind of on the same path as TSC, right? Finally hitting their groove, starting to hit that power spike, starting to be one of those forces to reckon with. A team that, if I'm Dark Immortals, kind of newer in, right? Still trying to solidify their position in the rankings here in the MLSA. Kind of the match that you want to be able to knock this team off to kind of prove and earn those stripes out here in the MLSA.
Definitely want to prove and earn them stripes, and this is exactly what Dark Immortals is doing. But Nefarious has kind of had a heavy foothold for the MLSA, right? They're breaking records. They're the title breakers, man. So this is going to be an intense match. And speaking of the match, let's step in to the land of the Dawn.
Boop, boop, boop. We're stepping into the land of the Dawn, but there's a couple people that won't be joining us. And those names are Joy, Wan, Carmilla, and Valentina. Not going to make it through the ban phase, and to add on top of that, Leomord as well, right? The Stampede, one of those picks we mentioned being very popular by the scholars of the MLSA, not going to be joining us in this match.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, there is a poll live on the Mobile Legends Discord server for the Scrim Academy. Make sure you guys place your votes on who you think will take this series. Dark Immortals, the up-and-coming team, building that synergy, taking out their predecessor, Immortals, against Nefarious, the title breakers. You know, one of the teams who've made it to 4 wins in a row. The only team that has made it to 4 wins in a row. Do you think Nefarious will take this win over them? Do you think Dark Immortals can kind of secure this victory? We are looking at the draft. We see that Fanny being locked out on the side of Nefarious. Not the worst decision, but again, we see a Kaja available. Maybe a smart pick for the side. Oh, no, they decided to go with the Martis, and I made this mistake once. All right, me and Coach Deck, we were arguing about it for a little bit, and then after that, man, it was hard. Yeah, definitely Kaja being a direct counter to the Martis in the XP lane, and a wise response from the side of Nefarious to go ahead and lock that in.
Definitely, and like you said, we have talked about it, right? The Martis decimation against Kaja with the Divine Judgment. A matchup that, you know, a lot of people might want to opt for the damage, but when you're facing Kaja, there's a little left, right? He does have the damage reduction, something that kind of boosted him up the ranks, right, in the meta with that recent buff. It did get recently nerfed, though, by a little bit. Not quite sure exactly on the percentages, but it wasn't enough to kill him, right? We're still seeing him heavily prioritized, whether that be on the pick side of things or on the ban. In this game, he will be picked and slotted into that Martis to kind of battle it out against those mortal coils.
Oh my goodness. Looking at the side of Nefarious, locking in that Diggy as their second pick. I don't know how I really feel about that, right? You have the Martis with the Mortal Coros, a little additional CC in his favor to kind of, you know, mess up Diggy if he does go in. But they do have Kaja in their favor, but it's a double support. Over there, you see Franco locking in the Kufra, and then Introvert taking up that Eve. Now, I will say Eve. Every time you've seen Eve slotted, these teams have won. This is the first time us actually seeing Dark Immortals pull it out, though, and the question is, how will they perform?
Absolutely. But a little bit of correction there. Eve did suffer one loss, right? Up against, I believe it was Ackerman, against that crazy Yuzhong we saw, which was kind of unexpected, right? Because the first time in that matchup, the Yuzhong lost. But in the next matchup, Yuzhong was the unsung hero, right? Going 14-2-11, I believe, getting the MVP, and that was up against who is Peter on the Eve, right? A strong Eve player, but like you said, now it's in the hands of Dark Immortals. We will have to see if it'll have kind of the same impact, right? Will they be able to set in reality with that real world manipulation coming out from Introvert? Speaking of setting in some things, a pick again on the side of Nefarious. Cho, the way of the dragon, has entered the battlefield.
I'm seeing a lot of CC potential already in the hands of Nefarious, and a little bit of frontline potential from Izumi on the Cho. We've seen Cho kind of slotted a lot in the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy, and definitely very effective. But we aren't seeing a lot of damage in their department right now, as they have already locked in 3 heroes for their draft. The question is, going into the second half, we need to see what is their plan for the late game. What marksman are you going to kind of slot in that position? And also what jungler are they going to go for? Is it going to be a Kaja jungle? Possibly. Definitely time will tell us. They do have some flex picks. You have Izumi on the Cho. It can be XP. He can be jungle. Or he can also be roam. Same with the Kaja being an XP, being also a jungler as well, kind of seen more than not. But time will tell. We need to see more of a late game presence for Nefarious.
Absolutely. And as those marksmen are getting banned out, right? Leslie, Claude, Wan, maybe another marksman potentially to get banned out. But we do know Red Side is going to get the first pick. And if I had to bet on it, I would see another marksman get banned out. If I'm going to bet on it, I'm almost 100% certain, right, that we potentially see the Beatrix fall into the hands of Fushi. Fushi had an insane game with the Beatrix last night. A couple players having a couple insane games with Beatrix. Has been the rising pick, like a star right now. One of the highly contested picks, also high on that win rate side, right? A Beatrix almost a sure sign to victory, according to the statistics so far in the MLSA. So I would definitely be expecting to see that. They are choking out that marksman pool. Speaking of choking, we do see the side of Immortals maybe not sure where they want to go to, right? That marksman pool is dwindling. Not sure they want to take out. They're going to take out the Karina, and here we might see that pick right in the hands of Fushi.
Now, Beatrix would not be the worst option. Definitely able to scale through time and able to provide that damage from early to late. And on top of that, having the variety of weapons at her pool. But they are going to go ahead and lock in that guaranteed late game damage dealer carry over there with that Inspire at her advantage, even for the early game if you are not careful. And now we are seeing a little bit of a coverage over on the Esmeralda. Man, I remember the time when Esme was like the most picked XP lane. I almost got Supreme on her. And definitely sad to see her not used as often. I feel like as soon as I got close, they said, "Oh no, we're not letting that happen. Let's go ahead and make some adjustments over here for the Esmeralda." And yes, we do see it locked in for Lord Hash.
We do see it locked in. But speaking of locked in, on that Esme pick is kind of a falling off, right? Falling off from grace. Used to be kind of an auto lock, right? Even in some of those first picks for these teams, speaking of lock, that Beatrix does get slotted in, just not for the team, but I kind of figured would do it, right? Threw me off a little off the trail there, but Beatrix slotted in nonetheless. But Esmeralda, speaking of thrown off, we see a Retribution come out to the Esmeralda. Will that stay? We'll find out soon. But I do feel like against this team, right, this might not be the best decision to let Esmeralda be that jungle. You're going up against a Kaja, right? A Cho, the Divine Judgment, the Way of the Dragon, even being able to be locked down a little bit by Diggy, right, with that pullback. Esmeralda going to struggle without being able to slot in that Purify if it does fall into the jungle position. Why not go for the Martyrs, right, with those Mortal Coils, able to kind of immune out some of that CC, buy some time on those neutrals. With Esmeralda, I mean, you're open to be focused, right, by that CC from the opposing team right now.
Definitely an interesting draft indeed. And I will finalize it for the side of Nefarious and for the side of Dark Immortals. Man, I love the Martyrs in the jungle. Definitely very hard to deal with. Can definitely have a slight advantage in that early game for those neutral objectives. But again, they let them lock in that Kaja on the side of Nefarious. And it's looking like this is going to be a Cho as the jungler on Nefarious' side, and I was kind of wondering which way was it going to go. You could have put Benny in it, you could have put Cho in it, you could have put Kaja as the jungler. They just have a lot of flex potential in terms of draft. Looking at some kind of mechanics that have to kind of pull off for both sides. If you are the side of Dark Immortals, you have that Eve. Definitely good placement on those real-world manipulations. You have the Esmeralda to be able to provide that split push capability. So we need to see some kind of proxying on minions, some openings for neutral objectives on Godwin. Looking on the opposing side, Fushi, that late game marksman, that carry We have the Inspire. You need to get to that late game and be the damage dealer, able to kind of burst down the beefy heroes such as the Esmeralda, such as possibly the Martis, the Kufra, and that's just going to be kind of the game we're going to see here today as Beatrix is kind of faring off against her. Beatrix able to scale in the early game all the way to the late, so maybe a little bit of a standoff on this bottom side and maybe a focus on kind of ganking that gold lane in the early one to tip that advantage in your favor.
Absolutely, but speaking of tipping things into their favor, Izumi already with the early game cuts, right? We know he likes to make those kind of plays in the XP, no matter what the pick is, right? He's done it on the Fredrin, he's doing it on the Benedetta right now ahead of this Litho, already joining into the skirmish.
Trying to get a kill onto Franco on that Kufra. That's a little bit of a weird name. You're Franco, but you play Kufra. Trying to trick the casters, man. I see what you're doing. They're going to be like, Franco, there's no Franco. That's Kufra. But yes, like you said, Izumi with the split push capability, and that's what I've always been a fan of Benny, right? It hasn't really suffered too much in terms of patches, and even back when Esmeralda was kind of auto-locked, Benedetto is one of those heroes that can kind of keep up that pace with her in terms of cutting and sustainability. But speaking of sustainability, speaking of cuts, Fushi taking some serious damage by Lord Hash, used the decimation, able to secure the kill, and down goes the late game marksman, Fushi, on the side of Nefarious. And we kind of said you have to be protected in that early game. You know, one of these objectives for both sides to focus on that gold lane, and you are seeing Dark Immortals wasting no time and going ahead and securing that kill on their marksman.
Absolutely, and I mean that comes just from being able to slot that Martis, right? Glad they made that swap there, not leaving Esmeralda in that jungle role, because you're definitely not getting that kind of damage from a falling star moon as opposed to that decimation slotted in your jungle. Speaking of things being locked in here, though, we do see the members locking in on this XP for a potential gank.
Ooh, you do see Izumi rushing in and taking out Godwin, and now it's a 1-for-1 on both sides. Arcane Boots being picked up. I ignore this name. Lord Hash getting a kill over there on to Izumi as he tries to escape after securing that kill. Something to prove, very low with HP. You do see Diggy in the fold now. The double support. Ash Kaja joins the fight, a 3v3 situation as both teams preparing to take this turtle. The question is, who will it go to? You see the retribution on the side of Martis. He has Immortal Coils for the zonage, and he has 3 members stacked on top of him as you are looking for a possible play to kind of backdoor with that retribution. You do see Rural Manipulation going down. A little bit of a tongue twister there. Lord Hash getting the turtle over there with the retribution. And down goes Diggy in that process. And now the early game leaning into the favor of Dark Immortals. Do you see a little bit of a knock-up onto Izumi? Ring Order rushing in. Electo as well for some additional damage on the side of Nefarious. Trying to rush in on to Franco, who's playing on Kufra. A little bit of a twister right there. And he is going to go ahead and escape with barely any HP. And Nefarious deciding to disengage. But right now, the early advantage in the favor of Dark Immortals.
Absolutely in the favor of Dark Immortals here. Something a little unexpected, right? Obviously, the game's not too far away from them. They're only up, what is that, around a couple hundred, or like 500 gold right there in the favor of Dark Immortals. Up 2 kills, though. No towers taken down, but you can see a little bit of the pace right now that they are picking up. Speaking of pace being picked up, Beatrix, Shadow Key almost locking in that Blade of Despair, 2 Legion Swords to his name right now. Once that Blade of Despair gets locked in, we're going to see an immediate power spike, right, from the side of Shadow Key, especially with the weapons such as, like, Renners there. Those sniper shots going to start to do a lot more damage. It's even looking like he's going to skip those tier 1 boots or tier 2 just to lock it in. So we're going to lock in. We do see time trying to get burnt out here from the side of Nefarious.
A little early, but a 4-man bush play by the side of Dark Immortals, but Kufra kind of showing his presence, and that is going to allow Fushi to know, hey, I need to back up a little bit. Maybe not the place I want to be at right now. As you see, Franco trying to wind up for a Tyrant's Rage, but going to go ahead and proxy that minion as the gold is being stripped off of that tower. Reward Manipulation going down by Introvert for some AoE zonage on this objective. Looks like Namir's Passion combo with it. It gets a double kill. Leaving only ignore this name on the Kaja in the tower, but he's able to secure that kill on to Kufra and able to fend them off from taking the tower down.
Absolutely. Do fend off them from taking that tower, but don't fend them off from picking up those kills. Speaking to pick up that Blade of Despair that we just mentioned does get locked in, but in the bot lane, Divine Judgment finding a connection to Shadow Key to pick up that kill ahead of this turtle, right? Both teams right now kind of filling it out. Introvert unaware, I believe, of Something to Prove's presence there. Something to Prove definitely camped out, definitely being very patient here on this show. I don't know if that was me, I might have went for it. I'm greedy like that, but I guess that's why I'm not out there and I'm on the caster seat. But as this is setting up, we do see the teams jockeying for position.
Oh, the backdoor retribution on Something to Prove with the choke jungle, but Introvert with the real world manipulation, trying to slow him down. Azumi able to get a kill onto Lord Hash. Down goes the jungler for the side of Dark Immortals. Franco kind of winding up, possibly going in on to Diggy for a little bit of a knockup, but can they get the kill as Diggy is rushing away with 1 HP. Goblin rushing in on that Esmeralda, hit with the way of the dragon, but securing the kill on to Alita on that Diggy. Fight going in on the top side. Fallen Star Moon connecting for the mobilization onto Azumi, but the fight continues as the G Kondo connects on some to prove to Godwin. A little bit of a knockup over there from Franco on, and a stun to Azumi, and Introvert securing that kill, taking advantage of the situation. The 3v1 right now, real manipulation going down for some slowage, and Godwin again securing another kill. This will allow the side of Dark Immortals to kind of push in this tower. You do see a little bit of a backdoor play over there by Kaj. Ignore this name, trying to use the Ring of Order and the Divine Judgment to take out Kufra, but quickly wasting all his utility. And will he get bursted down? You see the magic ball going down onto him, and Godwin securing that kill. Franco escaping with 1 HP. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, when I say Franco, it means Kufra. His name is Franco, but he's playing Kufra. Speedy Light will going in on the bottom side. Fushi getting a kill on to Shadow Kill. Is going to go ahead and go back to that tower and clear that minion. But over on the top side, we did see that tower fall in the hands of Dark Immortals.
Seen a couple towers fall into the hands of Dark Immortals. Speaking of people falling, though.
Oh, this is just fight after fight, blow after blow. Fushi taking out Introvert. We just see real manipulation going down. Franco getting a kill onto Fushi, kind of getting that pin on the wall with the Tyrant's Rage. Lord Hash rushing in and taking out Cho. Down goes Some to Prove. And you see one member falling for the side of Dark Immortals to 2 members of the side of Nefarious. But again, not losing any towers, and they are dropping left and right for the side of Nefarious.
Absolutely, they're dropping, but the side of Dark Immortals is picking up. They do find that tower there.
They're not missing a beat. They are everywhere on the map. They're finding every fight in every tower and slowly increasing this lead now 12-6 as they are kind of trying to start that snowball method.
Definitely picking up the snowball here. Speaking of snowball, they are picking up some items right now, but it looks like we might have a little bit of action here. Gonna get the Electro Blow Azumi out of there. But speaking of those pickups, though, Enchanted Talisman already in the hands of Introvert. That utility gonna be on par there, reducing that CD. We already spoke on the Blade of Despair. We know what's gonna happen in this storyline, right? Also, the Ice Queen Wand getting picked up ahead of this Lord for utility for the side of Dark Immortals. As this turtle is being pressured right now and pushed off, already applying that slow, right? The utility already coming into play for Introvert. Speaking of utility, Dominance Ice locked in for Goodwin, who's already 5-1-2, a force already in the back line now, gonna reduce some of that shield, right, coming out from Diggy with the time journey, some of the sustain from Kaj. Speaking of sustain, we might see a little bit of a fight here in the jungle.
No, they are trying to contest, take all the farm they can, and maintain the pressure of the map for the side of Dark Immortals. They have a huge advantage 12-6 right now, only 8 minutes in. Both sides have taken 1 turtle in the favor, but in terms of gold, up by 4,000. We haven't even hit the mid game, and we are starting to see a very strong objective and prioritization for the side of Dark Immortals, and more of a reactive side for Nefarious. Definitely interesting indeed, as we kind of said, Nefarious is the title breakers. Usually they have an easier time, but you are seeing the practice, the synergy being worked on by Dark Immortals, and it's definitely showing today. Fushi getting a kill onto Godwin. You do see the AoE damage from the Royal Manipulation. Will quickly bursted down by the Speedy Light Wheel and taken down a double kill in the hands of Carry. And now Shadow Key and Franco on a tricky situation, trying to push back, but Azumi not allowing Franco to escape. Can they get the kill though? Franco rushing into that tower and able to escape. Lord Hash getting a kill on to Something to Prove with that decimation, but you do see 4 members possibly rushing into him, and is going to go ahead and continue this farm, not possibly knowing that they are that close, and decides to wisely back off.
Definitely backing off, and Nefarious backing down in the gold lead right now. They're currently down 1K, a little bit of a lead right to the side of Dark Immortals. That just speaks to the gameplay they are having. Oh my goodness, Renner's Empathy connecting to Alito on the Diggy there. The time journey is gonna exit out here. Speaking of exiting out.
Oh, Electo canceled by the magic ball of Kufra, and Godwin taking that kill. The 4v1 situation, not even Benedetta with the mobility can escape that wrath. You do see a heavy push on the bottom lane for the side of Dark Immortals as they're trying to take more real estate on the map right now. They've already taken 3 towers and now making their way toward these inner turrets. You do see a possible push on to Fushi over on the bottom side. Fushi with the Lita, taking some serious damage. Franco caught off guard with the backdoor G Kondo over by Something to Prove. They are going to go ahead and try and secure a kill. Fushi able to take out Franco. Down goes Kufra. but now looking like Dark Immortals is going to go ahead and try and provide some zone as they are in a disposition as they are missing one member, giving the Fairies a slight advantage over this Lord, and they are wasting no time. They know they have the advantage, and they want them to take this fight, but again, Lord Hash is on that Martis, and he's trying to proc that Decimation. Ring of Order going in by Ignore This Name over on the Kaja. You do see a little bit of CC provided by Alita, but still taking a lot of damage. Making sure to kind of stay in the back, not wanting to proc that Decimation over there by Martis.
Definitely not wanting to proc that Decimation from Martis. The members of Dark Immortals right currently crowding up for this objective. Their tank a little late over here to the rotation right now, so not going to be able to go for too much potentially, but the Lord HP is falling drastically right now as we see members colliding.
Lord Hash able to secure that Retribution in the favor of Dark Immortals, but the fight going down. Fushi in a bad situation. The Marksman caught off guard and bursted down by Shadow Key. Also picking up that Hawes Claws. The backdoor play on the top tower, and the top inner turret has fallen in the hands of Benedetta, but quickly bursted down by Izumi, giving Benedetta a hard time, and a double kill in the hands of Beatrix.
Absolutely, and like you mentioned, the Hot Squad being picked up for some sustain, but Martis just locked in that Blade of Despair to do some pain right now. A little love and hate relationship going on right now between the items. Speaking of those items, we also did note that Beatrix has picked the Malefic Roar, right? So already against the little bit of the softer front line that Nefarious has, the little bit of defense items they do have picked up right now is going to be negated outright by that Malefic Roar. Going to offer a lot of percentage pin for that side. Interesting though to note, Ignore This Name is not going for the typical Kaja build right now, building out those Shadow Twin Blades, right? The Calamity Reaper, and along with that, the Genius Wand. No defense right now, no frontline capability coming out from him.
You do see manipulation. Bro, I'm getting a tongue twister on this one today. That's my favorite word. I can't say it. Real world manipulation by Introvert going in. It's just so many close fights and fast fights right now from the side of Dark Immortals. And like we said, they are maintaining this tempo and forcing Nefarious, one of the top teams in the MLSA right now, on the back end. And the question is, can they keep this tempo up? You know, this is very impressive nonetheless. And this is definitely going to rise them in the ladders from what I kind of rated them on the side of Dark Immortals.
Definitely the same with my standings as well. Kind of had Dark Immortals near kind of the lower end. I feel like most people here, right? I've seen kind of the talk feeling that way about Dark Immortals. Like we said, these teams have been scrimming each other for the last 2 weeks now, getting pretty familiar with each other. Dark Immortals not getting that same amount of respect. Speaking of not getting any respect here.
Fushi able to secure a kill onto Franco. They do not have a tank at their disposal. Introvert getting a kill onto something to prove. Full team's kind of fighting it out. 4v4 situation. Fushi getting a double kill, taking out the Marksman. Down goes Beatrix. Shadow is Key has fallen, but in response, Alita getting a kill onto Introvert. Down goes the Eve, which will allow a 4 versus 2 as only 2 members, Godwin and Lord Hash, left to defend, giving Nefarious that slight advantage to try and turn this game around. And they are going to start going for some farm, possibly needing to kind of clear these minions, but instead going for that blue buff, allowing you know, a little bit of a slight advantage in terms of clearing these minions in the hands of Dark Immortals, as you do see the Decimation going in by Lord Hash to secure that kill on to Ignore This Name. Definitely a little bit, you know, scratching my head right now on prioritization of the objectives. You know, I would definitely went for that tower instead of that blue buff.
Absolutely, but some scratching your head moments from both sides. I think you said earlier, right, the side of Dark Immortals was looking for some real estate, but right now starting to make some real mistakes. You don't want to give Nefarious, the team currently on the rise, along with those members like TSC, right, finding their mark. They're learning how to win, learning how to close out these games, and even be in these uncomfortable positions and find a way to dig out that hole. We did see them trade out multiple members from the side of Dark Immortals. The gold lead only down to 2K. But speaking of finding members here,
Franco with the magic ball. Lord Hash a little too aggressive, and Alita able to burst him down, and they do not have a jungler now for the side of Dark Immortals. You do see a possible fight going on, a waste of utility by the side of Introvert. Kaja getting a kill, taking out Godwin. Shadow's Key taking out the Lord, and that it will be Lord in the hands of Dark Immortals, but the fight's not over. The suppression, the Divine Judgment pulling back Franco, and connected over there by Fushi to secure that kill, and also a tower as they are starting to continue pushing down this lane. They're turning this game around into their favor. As we said, Dark Immortals had the advantage all the way to about the 13-minute mark, and now a turnaround, and even with Lord at the hands of Dark Immortals, not enough to hold back the fury, the wrath that Nefarious is putting on right now toward this late game.
Definitely nefarious looking furious, kind of upset about where they were placed, like you said, up until that 13-minute mark. But now that we are here at the mark, let's look at some of these items here, kind of bringing them back into the game. We do see Carry is essentially full build right now and quite sturdy as well. Has the brute force breastplate along with that Athena shield to kind of deal with the damage coming out from the side of Dark Immortals. Along with that, though, we do see some durability starting to be locked in now, prioritized for the members of Nefarious Benedetta with that brute force. It looks like now going to go for it. Maybe a Hunter Strike is looking like that. What that might be to kind of lock in that damage. Diggy started to build up some of that defensive items. Has the Antique, has the Radiant, along with the Blade Armor to kind of offer some more frontline capabilities. Speaking of front lines, we do see a little bit of an engage. Not going to lead to much. Just some bush checking right from Franco on the Kufra, trying to mix us all up over here on the caster's end. But yeah, that's what we're currently looking at right now for the side of Nefarious on how they're kind of turning this game around in their favor. But like we said, the side of Dark Immortals kind of giving them that path, right? Giving them that way, that leeway to kind of get back in this game. We can see Nefarious plotting, scheming over there in that river bush right now. Both teams kind of trying to figure out where they need to be in terms of the map. Right now, the map is open for both sides, right? 6-6 as far as tower leads. It's quite even right now. No one really has any overwhelming pressure. Mid lane, top lane, and the bottom lane kind of in the neutral. Everyone's kind of freezing, but we do see Nefarious, right? 3 members stacked up from the side of Dark Immortals. This can go any way. All it takes is for one member to make the wrong move. Speaking of moves, we do see Azumi on that Benedetta using that mobility to kind of break that neutrality state down in the bot lane, trying to make some pressure hopping in the bot, maybe make someone from the side of Dark Immortals maybe to respond to that, open up a fight for them to take over the numbers. We do see Esme, right, going over to answer, but we see 2 members as well stacking up in that red bush. We might see some action here. The members are starting to get to that meeting point. Mutual greeting grounds right here, saying hello to each other. Not going to commit to anything though, but something to prove. Almost overstepping his boundary there. Lord coming up in less than 30 seconds left. Nefarious is going to start making their way right over to the side of the map. Azumi already beating them there to get that minion pressure in the top wave to kind of force us out of Dark Immortals to answer. Like they've already made them answer the other side, now entering the top side. They're going to have to worry about this. But speaking of worry, we do have a request for a pause, maybe a cause for worry from one of these teams.
Man, what a game indeed from both sides, but a turnaround right now for Nefarious. Dark Immortals definitely had the stronger side of things in the early game, but having a problem kind of closing it out toward that late. But the question is, will they be able to hang in this game and turn it back in their favor? As they need this win, they got to show the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy that they are higher on that ladder, especially taking down a team like Nefarious, who right now has piqued a lot of players' interest. You know, the Kings of the Hill, they took 4 wins in a row, breaking history. So if you do kind of have that title under your belt to be able to kind of take them down in a scheduled scrim, that is a lot in terms of like bragging rights and also in terms of what we're kind of rated to other teams. So I am kind of excited to see, you know, how this match progresses.
Absolutely. Definitely looking to see how this progresses. I'm honestly rooting for Dark Immortals. I actually believe I casted my vote for Dark Immortals, right? I like to go with the underdogs in these matches. I voted for Straw Hats right up against TSC. I voted for Dark Immortals up against Nefarious. And I think I voted for Excellent Era as well up against Simpsons. That third one, a little wild vote. I think that's a bit of a stretch maybe for that vote, but definitely looking to see maybe Dark Immortals. Like we said, if they can knock this win off Nefarious, as you mentioned, they kind of move themselves up in the standing, right, to take down Nefarious in tonight's second series of these scheduled scrims.
Yeah, this is definitely interesting indeed, as we are looking at a little bit of a breakdown of today's schedule. We saw for Series 1, Straw Hats taking on the Survey Corps, and the Survey Corps able to pull through with the sweep. And then, right now, Dark Immortals versus Nefarious. An interesting game indeed, as we are only inside of Game 1, and Nefarious kind of getting that turnaround on to Dark Immortals. Definitely place your votes as the poll is live on the Scrim Academy Discord server. Make sure you guys register your teams as well for any upcoming and professional players that want to take their gameplay to the next level, as this is going to help you guys prepare for future MLBB and A events. Also looking at Series 3 for today, Excellent Era, team we have not seen before, brand new registered, going up against the grand finalist in the North American Challenger Tournament fall season. But ladies and gentlemen, enough about the schedules as we are jumping back into the game.
Jumping back into the game. Ooh, speaking of jumping in.
Oh my goodness, right back at it, not wasting any time at all. Trying to get that power spike. Lord Hash rushing in to Fushi, able to secure that kill on to the marksman. A beautiful KDA 8, 5, and 4 right now, by the way, but now is not going to be able to provide that potential to their team, which may allow this Lord to walk into the hands of Dark Immortals.
Absolutely. Both retributions, though, coming out of the hands of those junglers, neither one having those secured. But speaking of secured, we do see we have a full build secured right now. The first one in the hands of Kaja, getting that Holy Crystal locked in, the Hunter Strike locked in from the side of Shadow Key, also fully built now, but that Lord did fall into the hands of Dark Immortals, going to complete that lineup, 5 members plus an enhanced Lord, as they are inching their way, trying to close out this game. While they're trying to inch out, we see some final components coming out, Blade Armor on Godwin, Athena's on Franco, Athena's on Azumi. The members are gearing up for this final glorious battle. Who will take game 1? It could potentially end here on this push as we cross into the 18-minute mark. Both teams are equipped. They're both at the same amount of gold. So right now, it's just going to come down to execution. Who can pull this off? We do see those waves aren't synced to the side of Dark Immortals. Maybe a mistake here. Not a high-level macro gameplay going on here, but the clash is about to ensue.
See the AoE zone is from Eve right now. Time Journey being procced a little early. 2 ultimates wasted, possibly for the side of Nefarious, but they are able to burst down that Lord. Fushi getting a kill onto Franco. Down goes Kufra. Demon Hunter Sword also picked up by Fushi for some additional damage to those high HP heroes. Introvert securing a kill onto Franco. Shadow Key getting a kill, a double kill onto Alita, and also taking out, ignore this name, down goes Azumi, and that will leave 2 members in the playing side for Nefarious to defend against the full team of Dark Immortals. Can they close it out? Will they be able to win against the title breakers? Nefarious. Fushi rushing in with the speed light will. You do see the real manipulation going down by Eve, trying to take out the backline, but unable to hit the mark, and a kind of a waste. And they are going to have to retreat on this clash, but you do see Fushi kind of clearing out these minions. A little bit of a slow clear as it almost bursted down half the health of that tower.
Yeah, that's just how that goes, right? When you let that Lord get picked up, them super minions, right, getting mobilized again, putting a lot of pressure in now. Speaking of pressure, the entire base of Nefarious is cracked wide open. And, I mean, the side of Dark Immortals did that without even sinking waves, right? Not exactly the proper play style or positioning of those waves to kind of make that sync happen. They also lost a member, right, on that push due to being able to allow Nefarious to group up in the mid lane for only 1 wave to clear out. Speaking of clear out here, Franco might be moving to clear out the wrong bush.
A lot of utility used on Franco, and down he goes to Fushi. We do know he has that Demon Hunter Sword at his disposal. Takes out Lord Hash as well. Down goes the jungler for the side of Dark Immortals. They're forced on the retreat. They know they cannot take this 5v3 fight with all these late game items as we are 20 minutes in. Man, oh man, minions are crashing down the mid lane, but only the mid lane indeed, and that may allow them a little bit of a leeway to kind of clear that out as Esmeralda wastes no time with the Falling Star moving straight on those minions. Electo going in, ignore this name, able to get to that backline and take out the Beatrix, leaving only Introvert and Godwin to defend against the full team of Nefarious. They are letting the world know we hold this title and we do not plan on losing it, and they are going to try and go for that finish, but is it too aggressive of a play? You know this name, get taken out Godwin, and only Introvert with that real manipulation to kind of do some damage, but is quickly running out of gas as minions are making their way down. Electo getting to that back line, tracing down on Introvert, but trying to clear those minions. Fushi bursting down that tower, wasting no time, and game goes to the title breakers. Nefarious takes game 1.
Absolutely. I mean, that game could have went either way right there, and I think the crowd agree, right, on the poll, split even 7-7 on who could have won this match. But speaking of split, the members of Dark Immortals getting caught out there early and dying, leaving only 2 members out there for the defense against the onslaught of Nefarious as they clawed their way back into this game to win, right, a 20-minute match. But the matchup was good indeed. But let's look at those stats. Let's see how they match up on the paperwork here. And we do see, right, Fushi leading the way against Shadow as well, right? Both of those marksmen trying to find those towers, but you can see the clear difference in damage, right? In those team fights, Fushi out damaging Shadow by almost 30k in those team fights. So Introvert trying to pick up the slap. Even Godwin, right, on the Esme, dropping 81k, you know, not really known to do a lot of damage, but not enough from those 2 to overcome the onslaught, the full force of the members of Nefarious in this match.
Man, oh man. definitely having a plan for the side of Nefarious. A turnaround. It was looking a little shaky, and I did see a strong possibility for Dark Immortals to kind of make that work in their favor, but toward that late game, we didn't really see sinkage of lanes. We didn't really see heavy objectives kind of focused with those neutrals in their favor, and those are the little things that Nefarious does not sleep on. They make sure they take advantage of those late game mistakes, and that's what you see in that match as they are able to pull it through and take that win. But like we said, this is a best of 3. It's not over yet. Dark Immortals definitely, if anybody can do it, it's definitely them, especially after seeing their performance inside of Game 1. But speaking of the games, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to jump back into it. Dark Immortals is going to be going up against Nefarious, and they need to take this win. The question is, can they do it, or will Nefarious pull off the sweep?
Can they pull off the sweep? Indeed. I would like, speaking of sweep, see Dark Immortals kind of clean up that gameplay. I mean, they kind of had this game in their favor, right? The game in their bag. They were facing up against Nefarious with no inhibitors, right? The game was completely in their pocket right there, in their side to be able to win that match. Just not getting it done right with the macro. Going for those pushes without those waves, that could have been the difference, right? The minions alone, right? Even after this one wave coming in and then the waves finally catching up, took out that base, the half HP like you pointed out. Had they maybe synced those waves, right? Got those 3 waves crashing in, split up the members of Nefarious and go in for that siege, especially with that real world, right? You're definitely cracking down a tower. With those waves coming in from the side, open up to be able to push in for that siege and maybe get to that nexus and end that game sooner rather than later in the hands of Nefarious.
Definitely a little bit of keys to victory right there for the side of Dark Immortals is you have to kind of have a little bit more of a formulated, game plan for that late game. We are seeing them have a little bit harder time when you do have things at your advantage. We saw a huge advantage from them in the early game. If they would have kept that momentum up, kept that focus, and didn't lose these objectives, they definitely could have had an early game finish. So maybe kind of working on their rotations and kind of what to do when you have these neutral objectives in your favor. When you see that Luminous Lord crashing down that mid lane, you have to sync the off sides, because if you don't, a team like Nefarious is going to quickly burst down that Lord, and you're kind of wasting the utility that it has to offer, and that will guarantee teams to kind of come back and turn it in their favor, and that's what we've seen in Game 1. So Game 2, definitely needing a little bit more focus on the late game, and possibly trying to close out even in the early, even make the regular Lord, the non-enhanced Lord, work in your favor with the syncage of minions.
And it's definitely possible, right? When you got that, you definitely can go for it. And with an early Lord, with that much high ground capability, with that kind of mage pick, I mean, there's possibilities, right? Like you said, to end with that first Lord, and maybe they should have went for it. Obviously, a couple ways they could have won, a couple opportunities to close that game out. We just need to see them refocus, regroup up, and kind of just, like you said, clean up the tail end of that gameplay. It wasn't bad, right? Like we said, they had the game in their pocket. Like, they didn't play a bad game at all by any means. It's just that macro, right, that kind of differentiate these teams, right? Kind of separates the top teams from kind of that middle of the pack, right? Who's closing out these games? Who knows how to kind of play from behind? Who knows how to play from ahead and get those wins secured? And you can see right there Nefarious knowing how to climb out of that pit, and the side of Dark Immortals not knowing exactly how to cover them up and bury them right where they left them.
Definitely going to be an interesting match indeed. I will say, though, I'm impressed, okay? Dark Immortals did really good. A lot better than I anticipated them kind of doing it. They're starting to surprise us. We kind of got surprised when they went against their predecessor Immortals, and they took them down. And now to see them go up against Nefarious, and I wouldn't say it was a one-sided thing. They dominated in the early game. So if they can just kind of clean things up toward the late, this might be an up-and-coming team. Like, I'm really wanting to see how this plays out for this series, because I'm trying to figure out where I would exactly slot them. But I do see a lot of untapped potential for their team. But speaking of potential, you do see Fushi hovering over this Beatrix. We spoke about it before on how godly it can be. But the question is, does he slot it for first pick?
I wouldn't be surprised, maybe, but not surprised by that either, right? Valentina get picked up from Nefarious nice and early, kind of that deterrent, but not going to deter the Carmilla from getting picked up. Going to offer some utility back in exchange for Nefarious, that Valentina, but also bringing in some damage with Lord Hash on the Leomord.
Yeah, definitely seeing that Leomord being locked in with that Carmilla. 2 heavy meta picks, but not a bad choice from the side of Nefarious, locking in that Valentina. But you just got to make sure you can get some ultimates at your disposal. Looking at the ultimates available, Curse of Blood, Shadow Stampede, kind of get the job done, maybe. but not really the best choice, but definitely can make it viable if Ignore This Name kind of makes it work in the favor. But speaking of favor, Alita, previously seen playing that Diggy, is now going to run on that show. And oh my goodness, something to prove. The bold statement indeed, locking in Fanny.
Definitely locking in the Fanny. Not a pick that's been let through too many times. And because that hasn't been picked up too many times, only used by a handful, not even a handful, maybe 1-2 fingers of players that are picking up that Fanny. Now we're going to add to that list with something to prove picking up that Fanny as well. Will he have the capabilities, right, to show off with those steel cables like we seen Kush last night on the Akron with that insane stat line with Fanny dropping 15 kills off with his first showcasing of Fanny. Will something to prove be able to do that? He has something to prove indeed, but we do see the Fanny potentially getting locked in, but they're going to switch over to the Kufa, Franco, whatever you want to call him, is bringing in that CC to kind of slow down those cables unleashed from the side of Nefarious.
Now, Kufra, can he get the job done? Yes, he can. I'm surprised I haven't really been seeing the Franco slotted up against that Fanny. I don't know. Me personally, I mean, I guess you have the Cho, right? You have the dash by the Valentina. And I guess if you did go Franco, you kind of give that bloody hunt over to Valentina. So it's not the worst option. I can kind of vouch for it after kind of like breaking that down and looking at it. So in theory, not a bad choice from the side of Dark Immortals. Definitely a smarter draft. But now we are looking at a Kufa and also that Carmilla, which means we are possibly going to be seeing this Carmilla slotted as the XP lane.
Yeah, and that'll be interesting seeing Carmilla moved over to the XP. We've seen kind of those typical jungle picks, right? Like we've seen Leo get moved over to the XP tonight. Didn't really fare too well. Now we'll potentially can see Carmilla over the XP, almost potentially guaranteed going to the XP, right? Kufa being locked in, like you said, might go over to the XP. We'll have to see how that does in this matchup. I don't believe we've seen a Carmilla, if I'm recalling correctly, slot in the XP so far in the MLSA. Is it possible? Yes. Is it beneficial? I guess we'll get to see here. But speaking of beneficial, that Diggy would have came in handy from the side of Nefarious, but it's going to get taken out as long, with that Leslie. Not going to let some of that true damage go through, one of those highly contested marksman picks right now. But Beatrix is still on the board for both of these teams. Claude taking out, Popole taking out. Actually, interesting to note the Popole ban. Look at that. I'm not sure if they know something we don't know about Dark Immortals. That's the first time Popole has been banned. He has 0 appearances in the MLSA. So it can't be anything prior. Must be some insight, right, that they might know about Dark Immortals that we don't. Maybe some scanning over them in the lobby. But taking out nonetheless, that marksman pool is dwindling. We currently have 4 marksmen banned out.
Yeah, that's interesting indeed. You know, I'm kind of wondering what the plan was on that. Maybe a bad experience with the Popo and Koopa in a prior life. Maybe what we were seeing. But like you said, not slotted at all for the MLSA. So I didn't even think that would have been picked up. That was definitely at the back of my mind for possible options. But speaking of options, Godwin wasting no time, taking something that is more oftenly picked for the MLSA, taking up that Benedetta. Now, there's a lot of mobility in the hands of Dark Immortals right now. You have the split push capability. You have the sustainability. We kind of seen it even paired up against that Esmeralda. You do see Lemore with that Shadow Stampede for mobility as well. And you do see a lot of stun CC from the Curse of Blood, from the Carmilla, and then additional CC from the Kufra. That's a lot of frontline. They don't really have a lot of backline, though. And they don't have a lot of late game damage.
Definitely going to need to slot something in that back line for themselves. Like I said, they have the front line. So I'm sure, right, they're looking for something to potentially play in that backside. They do have the front line capability to kind of keep it safe. Will they keep them safe from the clutches of something to prove on this Fanny? That's yet to tell. The only one that can really stop that, right, is Franco on this Kufa if the mastery is there to be able to go up against some to prove. But like we said, we are waiting to see what they'll pick. Currently 30 seconds left. We know what's in the back line for the side of Nefarious, right? They have the Brody. Not too much range, though, and also the Valentina. So they're kind of limited in their range as well. So they can pick up something that kind of has that big AoE as far as the marksmen go. They might be in a good position here. Looking at the carry, I was thinking maybe something like the Melissa. Right? I feel like Melissa would do pretty well against this lineup that Fairies has, but they might trust in the carry. Might be swapping. They do see the carry do damage against them in the last game, so maybe wanting to pick that up. But no, swapping over to the Moskov.
Man, oh man, this is definitely interesting indeed. They have a lot more physical damage than Magic, though. You know, Carmilla, I wouldn't really say is the heaviest Magic damage dealer, so maybe a few items picked up from the side of Nefarious, and they might have an easier time as they really need to stack primarily on the physical defense. I know Kufra's Magic tank, but I don't see Kufra instantly bursting them down, so this is going to be interesting. Speaking of damage, though, on the side of Nefarious, they have that Fanny. We know how well, you know, those cables can work in the Land of Dawn to kind of pave that way for your team in the early game, but also a buff-dependent assassin. And you are going against that direct counter, a smart draft from the side of Franco, locking in that Kufra again. Wasn't able really to make the game work in their favor for game one, locking in that Kufra in the first match as well, but maybe a little bit better pressure from him as he is going against some heroes that he does directly counter, that show with those dashes. A lot of heroes with the dashes, matter of fact. So I want to see Franco kind of get online. As we know, this is a best of 3, and game 1 went into the hands of Nefarious. So definitely a riskier match with more to lose on the side of Dark Immortals.
Definitely on the riskier side. But speaking of risk, if I'm the side of Nefarious right here, right, you have all the bursts, you have kind of the single target CC, you do need to try to utilize that, right, to go for those pickoffs. You have the Cho locked in with the way of the Dragon, right, you have the Paquito, right, being able to offer you with those knockout strikes. You definitely want to find something to offer, something to prove on this Fanny, and while they do have those, they need to find the ability to pull it off. Speaking of the ability to pull it off, something to prove, show he can play in the jungle with those steel cables as he's facing off against 3 members to go ahead and secure that small creep, but now trying to secure this Litho here, taking a bit of damage and still secures that as well. Something to prove, getting a nice little lead in the goal for his team. They're already up about 400k just thanks to those couple of those little plays there.
But you do see a little bit of invasion on the lane as Franco rushes in, unable to hit the mark onto something to prove. And now kind of bad situation of 3 members on the side of Nefarious is trying to punish him. You do see momentum popped, trying to steal that objective, able to take the buff from Fanny and get a kill with that Shadow Stampede. And he's going to rush in and try and take out the full team, but petrified. Lord Hash getting a kill onto Paquito, Alita getting a kill onto Franco, and now a 2-1 in favor of Dark Immortals right now. Definitely a smart play indeed, taking advantage of that Fanny with the low HP.
Absolutely, and I feel like the side of Nefarious there, right, while they do have the burst, they need those 4s. They need those utilities, that ultimate. They need the cutthroat. They need the way of the dragon, right? The IMU to be able to pull off some of those plays, this knockout strike from Azumi if he's going to rotate over from the XP. The side of Dark Immortals, right? They have that front line. Like you said, speaking of front, Alita almost getting taken out. But they can kind of fight in that prolonged battle. That's kind of what we've seen in the jungle. The fight drew on, right? But you have the Carmilla able to sustain. You have Franco, right, with the innate ability to kind of increase that defense with the magic ball there. So they had everything they needed, like, to fight in that early, while the side of Nefarious, maybe letting that fight drag on too long. It would have been better to opt out to kind of let them have that red, right? And he just needs that blue buff. No need to really heavily contest that. Just give it up and maybe go find something else on the map to trade, right?
Definitely needing something to trade indeed. And right now, 2-1 in the favor of Dark Immortals. And I want to say some very smart placement. I love how they kind of rotated into that jungle. They realized they had the slight advantage and they did not miss a beat on it. They capitalized. The synergy was there. The communication was there. And that's what it's going to take to go against these top teams in North America. And we'd love to see, you know, these textbook plays be implemented in the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy. But like we said, looking at the team, they have that Moskov, that late game damage dealer with that Inspire. Some beautiful split pushes may possibly be on the way. On the bottom side, Paquito versus the Benedetta. Lecto being popped out, trying to secure a kill, but he is going to use that jab for some additional shield. 2 heroes that can provide those cuts. They have the sustainability to get the job done. They can create the split push opportunities for these neutral objectives. But Paquito rushing in, trying to get that double knock up. Oh, something to prove! Hidden in that bush and uses that cutthroat, that assassin Mikasa, to kind of go ahead and slice the head off of a Goblin right now. Going back in onto Introverted 2v1 situation on the Carmilla. And Carmilla kind of staying in that tower to kind of fend off those minions.
Definitely, and with Hash rotating up to kind of back him up, the members getting back up. Speaking of back up here, though, Fushi going to pick up that kill on Shadow Key, right, with the assistance from Alita. That's a nice kill to secure ahead of this turn. We'll kind of open up that gold lane and open up lanes. We do see Godwin going to pressure out the mid lane with that Electro, right, kind of cleared up, apply that pressure as the members of Dark Immortals is trying to set up around this neutral objective that's getting ready to spawn in.
I don't know why the map sometimes just has a mind of its own, but
wondering what was
It's
going
looking
on
for
there.
like that invisible Natalia. I don't know why it's doing that. But the clash in as the G Kondo rushes in onto Shadow Key and something to prove rushing in. What a synchronization of combos, but the tower able to at least get one kill in return, which might be a 1v1 trade, but no, they weren't able to get the kill for the side of Nefarious, and that will be a little bit of an advantage. You do see Dark Immortals going for this turtle, though. Top tower being pushed in by Nefarious. And that play on the bottom side, though, Izumi taking out Godwin. Not even the mobility and the Electo is enough to stop the hands of Paquito.
Definitely. I mean, we got two IMUs in play, right? We got the Valentina, but we also got Izumi facing up against his Comfort. So he definitely knows how to win those matchups against that Benedetta, even on the Paquito. But speaking of matchup, looking at these items, seeing how they're stacking up right now, we do see the Clock of Destiny already locked in for Ignore on this Valentina. Right, gonna start stacking up that magic power, some of that HP as well. Speaking of power, we do see Paquito getting the Hunter Strike, gonna do a lot more damage with those knockout strikes in the way of that flat penetration over here in this XP matchup. But while he's doing the damage, right, we do see Godwin has unlocked that blade. That Bloodlust axe, right, to be able to sustain in those fights. But maybe not a misplay on the blade there. Blade of Despair does fall into the hands of Fushi. Those torn apart memories are going to do a lot of damage, right, from the percentage HP that he will be able to unleash. We're going to unleash here, though. We do see Franco trying to go for something there in the bottom lane, but no members to back him up, so he's going to have to step away from that. But the Stampede gets called in as the members are looking for a clash.
You do see Lord Hash dealing some damage onto Fushi, but Nefarious able to sneak that mid tower, opening up that map in their favor. And again, we're seeing a little bit of an opposite from game one. We saw the side of Dark Immortals kind of dominate the early game, but now an answer back from Nefarious, making use of their mistakes and making kind of Dark Immortals pay for their aggression. The Terrify going in. You do see Fanny rushing for a kill. Ignore taking the kill on to Leomord with Valentina. Shadowkey getting a kill on to something to prove. Moskov does get a kill in the favor. The way the Dragon connecting onto Franco with the G Kondo, and then to finish the kill over there, Valentina able to secure that onto Franco, and down he goes. Find out over though is a triple kill in the hands of Valentina, taking another one, but Godwin responding, taking out the Paquito. Godwin trying to force on the retreat, using that Electo directly onto Valentina, a master assassin, but taken down, getting a double kill, but connecting on with that torn apart memories from Brody. Down goes Benedetta over there in the hands of Godwin. Find out over though. Oh my goodness, they're out for blood. As you do see Shadow Stampede rushing in, Carmilla able to secure that kill onto Fushi, and you see the G Kondo Alita trying to run away with the mobility that Joe has to offer. Not able to hit the mark on Franco, and a master of mobility and escape. Away goes Alita.
Definitely trying to escape here. Up 1K in the gold lane, and gonna have the side of Dark Immortals though try to trade out some of that momentum lost with this turn to kind of pick up some more of that economy. They are trying to jostle in for a position, right? They're currently down in the tower game, right? 2 towers going in the hands of Nefarious. Nothing being traded out yet. Godwin still trying to apply pressure, but getting pressured off from Ignore as well. The IMU coming out might be looking to try to finish him.
Oh, he is going to try and escape. You do see a heavy aggressive play, though, and quickly bursted down by Moskov, and down goes Valentina. You're the mage. You are backline, and running up like that is a little bit risky, and if you continue to do that, you will kind of give the advantage over to the side of Dark Immortals, as it is a close game, 9-7, but in terms of towers, they haven't lost one for the side of Nefarious, and they're continuing to kind of put that pressure on the map, but I think Dark Immortals waiting for them to be overly aggressive and make them pay for these mistakes.
Absolutely. And speaking of pressure, the pressure is going on to the side of Nefarious here as we are crossing over kind of into that mid-game area. As we cross over to the mid-game area, we do see some more important items being locked in, right? We see the Malefic Roar being picked up by Fanny. We see it being picked up by Izumi on the Paquito, some percent pin as we are crossing into the state of the game where the defense items are starting to pop in, right? Antique, Dominance Ice, another Dominance Ice, right, in the hands of Dark Immortal. So some defense starting to pick up, but keep your eyes on Moskov, right? Already has the Windtalker and Berserker Sphere. Gonna be looking to pick up those damage items, picking to pick up. We do see Fushi pick up a kill and another item. That's 3 Malefic Roars to counteract into this front line.
Ooh, but the way the Dragon connecting and the Terrify onto Introvert for Carmilla, but the sustainability is there. A 2v1 situation waiting for Shadow Key on the backdoor play on Moskov, and it's going to rush in and try and take these kills, popping that Inspire, but unable to hit the mark on these members. You do see ignore this name, able to dodge the Kufor, but the Magic Ball to provide the slow, and Shadow Key, you know, optimizing his potential and bursting down for that kill on the Valentina. And now 10-8, but a lot of towers were lost in that process for the side of Dark Immortals as they are down to their inhibitor on the bottom lane. Man, oh man, you do see this Lord spawning in an objective both teams kind of need in their favor, and it looks like Dark Immortals kind of starting this objective. You do see the way the Dragon connecting, Lord Hash rushing in, some proof getting a kill onto Lord Hash in that process with the cutthroat and mobility on that Fanny. You do see Shadow Key kind of waiting at bay, trying to rush in with that Moskov. Franco getting taken down by Something to Prove with a double kill, but yet another one is down goes Carmilla, a triple kill, and he is going for the Maniac. He knows it's at his disposal, but Shadow Key saying, "Nuh-uh, not this one. You are not him. You are not him." And it looks like indeed he is not, and he decides to push back.
Push back, and with all those members from the side of Dark Immortals push back to base, the side of Nefarious is going to go ahead and start up this enhanced Lord. The side of Dark, right, already in an uncomfortable position, like you said, pushed down to the inhibitor in the bot side, and now with an enhanced Lord being picked up by Something to Prove, along with some more of those items, right? Hunter Strike, Athena's Genius flying across the screen into some of those core damage right there on Ignore. The Genius Wand going to his hand, along with the Bloodless Axe being picked up, right? Some sustain going into Azumi. Moskov hasn't really found anything since the last time we looked at these items, and that has to kind of attribute, right, not to be able to have any farm space. The map is heavily pressured, one-sided, that he doesn't have much room to work with, farming right at the inhibitor base, so not being able to pick up some more of those core items to kind of be that damage dealer that he needs, right? He's the only backline from the side of Dark Immortals. We pointed that out. So he's really the main damage as it translates as going into the late game. So if he doesn't have those items, Dark Immortals' chances of winning kind of go down the drain if they can't quickly get him online, as he does opt for a Wind of Nature. So not much damage, but some more survivability. So he's still not even a comfortable spot in his own rights to do damage, even if he did get the items. So going to try to go for, like I said, some more survivability there, but the side of Nefarious doesn't care. The towers won't be surviving as they lock in on some targets.
The way the Dragon connecting, Fanny rushing in, Valentina securing the kill onto Lord Hash. Down goes Liam Ward, putting Dark Immortals at a slight disadvantage. Fight continuing though. Who will win this trade? Franco going in, trying to get the Tyrant's Rage, but a little bit of a knock-up to cancel it out. Fight not over though, as Izumi rushes in and takes out Kufra, and Fushi taking out Godwin, but in the process, you do see a killing spree activated by Moskov, take out Fanny, and taken down by Valentina. A trade, an eye for an eye, a blow for a blow, but only one member left on the side of Dark Immortals, and can they go against the 4-stack of Nefarious as they are trying to close out this series? They already have one game in their favor. They do have a minions pushing in the mid lane, but Lord has quickly spawned in using the Shadow Stampede. Tower down to about half health. Can they burst down the Nexus? Oh, the way the Dragon connected for some CC! And they're quickly trying to burst down Lord Hash as he is the only defense. Another member spawning in. In comes Kufra using the Conceal to try and stop them from pushing this tower. Godwin now in play as well, and Shadow Key, and they were able to survive that trade.
What a trade indeed. The side of Nefarious acquiring those targets, right? They're landing those pickoffs, right? To be able to get that numbers advantage right ahead as they were pushing for that tower to kind of put Dark Immortals in an uncomfortable spot, almost putting them out of this match, right? They're already up 1-0. That could have potentially been the last that we've seen of Dark Immortals tonight, but hanging on by a thread to give it one more go right here as they are clearing out the vision for the jungle, right? Using up that sentry. We do see the Hunter Strike fall into Fushi's hand, though. They are currently scaling into this late game somehow, some way, right? Because on paper here in the matchup, it did look like it could go into the hands of Dark Immortals once we transition over to the late game. They have a strong team fighting composition, but Nefarious kind of picking them apart, right? They're landing that keys to victory, getting securing those pickoffs nice and early. They're not being able to stack up in a 5-man. They're getting taken out one by one as these games go on. Speaking of, as the game goes on, a new Lord has spawned in, and the members of Nefarious Fushi already starting it up for their side. But hang on here, we see some action. Look at the mid up there. The
full recall! They're trying to go back, but can they get back in time as Nefarious rushing into that tower? What a play! Focusing on objectives, not missing a beat, and able to take the sweep and the series. Game goes to Nefarious.
That was insane right there. That was some great macro from Something to Prove. And Azumi, right, on that Paquito, having a nose to see the Wimble edition there. Dark Immortal's so focused on that Lord, so focused on trying to get back into that game with that massive neutral, but leaving the massive win condition for both teams. The Nexus wide open.
My goodness, that's the first time I've seen that. And not only the first time, but a Fanny to kind of do it. It is very hard. They tried to recall and beat the cables of a Fanny, that's impossible. You know, that's definitely a smart play indeed, and those are the mechanics you kind of have to do. Take advantage of it. A lot of teams will kind of probably rushed in for that Lord, but when you see that opportunity to close out that game, you want to go the fastest route, the most effective route, and that's what we've seen Nefarious do. But nonetheless, even though it was a sweep, I will say in the hands of Dark Immortals, we saw some smart gameplay. Definitely some major improvement. Every single time I see this team play, they are slowly rising and rising up, and soon enough, I have no doubt in my mind that they will be able to possibly even take out a team like Nefarious. So I'm excited to see the future potential that this team brings in the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy.
Definitely. That was a nice series indeed. But hopefully this Thursday we'll see these teams kind of pick it up. That is our second sweep of the night. I want to see some fight back, right, in between these teams coming into Excellent Era and The Simpsons.
Yeah, definitely. 3 series have been on the way today. The third one about to embark. Excellent Era. We haven't really seen them compete yet, and they are going to be going against the Simpsons, who we haven't seen compete in the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy either. So this is going to be brand new for everybody. But a little bit of background on the Simpsons. They were the champions, or not champions, but grand finalists for the North American Challenger Tournament fall season in Las Vegas, and they are going against Excellent Era, another good team. But we haven't really got too much data to see how they operate. So is this a top team for NA? Time will tell, but they definitely have a fight on their hands. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys being here. My name is Wheezy, and welcome to the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy. If you guys are brand new, make sure you guys sign up over on Discord and get your team registered. If you're looking for a team, make sure you guys sign up as well, as we provide that service and so much more. Right now, we are currently in our scheduled scrims, and we have one more series, best of 3. If you guys would like to sign up, join on the official Mobile Legends Scrim Academy Discord, and also our live stream is live on the official Mobile Legends Scrim Academy YouTube channel. So drop subscribe over there. Lots of exclusive content that you can only catch on that platform. So sign up, subscribe, and get ready as we are embarking. The gates are wide open for the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy. And also, guys, we will be right on the way here shortly for the last series of the night. Excellent Era versus the grand finalists in the NACT, the Simpsons.
Loved you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah. With you, the summer came and went in a day. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah. Feeling it when you're miles away, yeah. You can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind, always in my brain. With you the days are long and the nights are late. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. Ooh, and I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Loved you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah. With you the summer came and went in a day. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. Oh, no, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. I can feel it when you're miles away. Yeah, you can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind, always in my brain. With you the days are long and the nights are late. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. Ooh, and I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, never, never wanna forget. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Loved you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah. With you the summer came and went in a day. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. Oh, no, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. I can feel it when you're miles away. Yeah, you can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind, always in my brain. With you the days are long and the nights are late, and I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. Ooh, and I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah, yeah. No, never, never wanna forget. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Loved you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah. With you the summer came and went in a day, and I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Loved you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah. With you the summer came and went in a day, and I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah, yeah. I can feel it when you're miles away. Yeah, you can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind, always in my brain. With you the days are long and the nights are late, and I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. Ooh, and I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah, yeah. forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Loved you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah. With you the summer came and went in a day. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. Oh, no, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. When you're miles away, yeah. You can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind, always in my brain. With you the days are long and the nights are late. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. Ooh, and I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, never, never wanna forget. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Loved you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah. With you the summer came and went in a day. And I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. Oh, no, nothing's gonna make me forget. And I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah, yeah. When you're miles away, yeah. You can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind, always in my brain. nights are late, and I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. Ooh, and I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. No, never wanna forget. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway. Yeah. Loved you from the first time you called me late. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah. With you, the summer came and went in a day, and I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway. I can feel it when you're miles away. Yeah, you can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind, always in my brain. With you, the days are long and the nights are late, and I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. Ooh, and I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. No, never wanna forget. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back in action with the final series of the day. And we have two teams brand new to the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy, but not brand new to the scene of Mobile Legends Bang Bang North America. We have the grand finalists over there on the side for the Simpsons playing against Excellent Era. Haven't seen Excellent Era before, but they have placed in the NACT. So I believe they hit top 32. And then, like we said, the Simpsons, they have a lot of good members at their disposal. And they were the grand finalists, only taken down by the Valley. So let's go ahead and look at these two teams, man. I'm super excited, and this might be one of the most intense series for today.
Definitely going to be intense. Definitely can't wait to get it underway. And I mean, for both of these teams, right, I'm not going to be able to throw up too much information for you guys. Like we said, Excellent Era, the first time they stepped foot into the Scrim Academy, I can tell you, though, they're going to have their work cut out for them as they are going up against the Simpsons, or at least a rendition of the Simpsons, right? I think we get that confirmed from Weezy. I don't believe we're facing the full five-man roster of the Simpsons, but top players nonetheless. Very competitive, top tier. They were the runner-ups, or at least some of the members were runner-ups in the recent NACT. They were out in Vegas with the grand finals, along with our great caster Steph Weezy. So we will see how they do tonight for their first time, right, in the Scrim Academy. We've seen teams like Ackerman pop out here, and now we have the Simpsons. I expect great things from them, but I also expect for Excellent Air to give us a great showing for their first time. A lot of the teams that have been new have had great first appearances.
Yeah, definitely exciting to see as we jump into the draft. You're going against the grand finalists. If they would have took out the Valley, they would have been in Jakarta right now. Definitely a huge team to kind of face against, and Excellent Era is going to be up for a good fight. I'm expecting a high level of gameplay from the side of the Simpsons, right? To be able to make the grand finalists, that's hard to do. That means you were possibly the best of the best and knocking out several teams to get there. So we might even see one of the best teams in the MLSA right before our eyes. We have some bangers in it. We have Ackerman, another top place team with World Championship members at their disposal. So to see these teams kind of joining in, filtering in as the gates have opened up for the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy, man, these classes are filling in as we are all preparing from MLBB North America MPL. That is our whole focus, and I love to see these teams competing and preparing for it. But speaking of preparing, they have somebody named Weezy on their team. I thought I was the only one. What is this?
You ain't original. I'm sorry. Hate to break it to you.
What? You mean there's other Weezys out there?
Yeah, we'll call him Step Weezy.
Oh, man,
speaking of step, we do see some big steppers hitting the battlefield. Leah Moore getting locked in, Kaja, Carmilla, and this is what you can expect, right, from these top teams. They definitely like to unleash some of these picks, comfortable, right, with trading out, knowing they'll get something in return on the playboard here. But I mean, like you said, we haven't seen most of these picks, at least not all together, right? Kaja, Carmilla, Leah Moore, all in the same match from going into these picks going into both teams, right? This is kind of interesting, right? Kind of new to see, but it's refreshing. I love to see the teams kind of let these picks through and kind of go for the counterplay instead of just straight for the bans.
Now, looking at these teams, loving the draft already. Carmilla has been slotted. You do see that Liam Ward, one of the best junglers in the game. And that's a very strong draft from the side of, the red side. But looking at the blue side over there for the Simpsons, they have the Martis, they have the Fredrin, and they have that Kaja. So can Excellent Era kind of compete against that? There's a lot of meta available. And like you said, these are top teams. And all of them have meta picks. Even the Fredrin. So, Deku, I think this is about to be the best fight we've seen today.
Absolutely. And speaking of more meta, we see the Lilia get unleashed, going to be facing off against that front line. Going to put Stoner in a kind of a pickle there on Fredrin fight with those glooms. It's going to be something for them to fight against, especially once that Ice Wong gets picked up. Going to put a lot of pressure on picks like Yujin with that Kaja, right? That limited range for that Divine Judgment. As soon as he comes in trying to connect with someone, trying to secure a pick off, there's going to be a Lilia right there to try to zone him off. Speaking of zone off, we do see the side of Excellent Air with a smart ban, right? They take out the Farsa. Not going to let the Feather Airstrikes join in this match to kind of match up against Shadow on this Lilia.
Man, this is intense already. This match is looking explosive. Can the Decimation of Marches outlast the Shadow Stampede and the Curse of Blood over there by the Carmilla and also the Shadow Energy and the Black Shoes of the Lilia? You got the Kaja, the Ring of Order. You have the Energy Eruption. Their Praises Wrath by the Fredrin. And this is just going to be a heavy fight for these objectives against these two top teams. definitely place your guys' votes on who you think will take game one. Like we said, this is a series. This is a best of 3, and this is match 1. We do have a poll active inside of the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy Discord server, so make sure you guys join up there. That's also where you guys can register to compete against the top teams in North America, teams that are preparing for North America MPL. But man, oh man, looking at the draft so far, I love it. You're looking at the red side. You have the Lilia. You have the Leomord, the Carmilla. You have the damage already. The early game damage guaranteed. You have the front line from Carmilla and the front line from Leomord, the best jungler in the game right now. And then against that Martis, a good front line capability. The Fredrin with additional CC. We've seen him slotted so often in the MLSA. And then the Kaja is one of the most prioritized picks in all of MLBB right now. And being able to slot that in definitely provides a lot of utility to the side of the Simpsons.
Absolutely, but right now we're seeing something hovered. I'm not expecting this to get picked up, but we're looking at a glue in the middle of our screen, right? But I'm not going to talk about the hypotheticals right now. Let's talk about the facts, right? A lot of marksmen banned out. Juan, Leslie, Melissa, Claude, right? 4 marksmen banned out. Both teams still needing to secure one, so the pool is limited right now. But speaking of limited, the time is dwindling. Glue might get placed in for the first time in the MLSA, for the first time in my recent memory in general across everything. Glue has been locked in from the side of Excellent Air, their first match, and they're coming to make a statement in tonight's series.
Speaking of statement, like you said, history in the making. I want to see what this glue is going to kind of pull off. Is it going to be a glue XP lane as you already have that Carmilla slotted, or will it be Carmilla as XP? But seeing the execute, I mean, you still typically run the execute on glue, so it could still be either way. But to finish the draft on the side of the Simpsons, they are going to pick up that fan favorite, that Faramis, and then combo it off with Wheezy over there on that carry. This is going to be interesting. You have the late game damage that carry can provide, the sustainability by Faramis, the Kaja with the Divine Judgment to go ahead and group up and take those heroes out. But in Kaja, a direct answer to the Lilia, matter of fact. Not even the black shoes is enough to save him, as that Divine Judgment, you cannot get away from it. And if Kaja can quickly burst her down, this is going to be, I'm assuming, a purely damaged Kaja, right? You don't need the tank Kaja because you need to kind of burst these heroes down. You already have the tankiness on your team, and also sustainability with that co-alter provided by that Faramis.
Absolutely, and I really want to key in on this glue, right? It's the first time we've seen it picked. Hasn't been prioritized at any point. I don't think glue's ever really been a part of the meta, right? We did see him get used a little bit initially when he was dropped, but then after the counters were kind of revealed, what kind of countered him, he just fell off. But Zenith, right? Zenith, I pointed out to him before the match started, right? We were kind of waiting for these teams to filter in while the live was paused. He is a phenomenal XP laner, in my opinion. Definitely a great pickup for the side of Excellent Air over there to slot in on that XP lane. I would not be surprised if he finds at least the slightest bit of success with this glue pick. How it's going to figure out, right, against this TRS stand-in lineup, right, for OSP that we are expecting to get, but a lot of unexpected things happen. The glue, the team that they're facing off against, right, Excellent Air out here playing the draft game so well as their first time out in the Scrim Academy. A lot of things going on right now, and I just can't wait to see this. The glue versus Fredrin matchup is going to be insane. This matchup is going to be insane in general. There's so many good picks and so many unexpected picks.
Yeah, just seeing the glue, not something typically slotted, but does not mean it's a bad answer. So definitely have the sustainability, and also being able to kind of pull those into a tower and get that execute as well. Maybe the game plan, but a little bit of win conditions on the side of, Excellence Era right there. You have that Lilia to be able to try and burst down this beefy frontline position provided by the Simpsons. But you do have that Kaja to watch out for with that Divine Judgment. Also, a little bit of focus on the gold lane, needing to kind of delay Wheezy from kind of stacking up and being that late game marksman that the Simpsons need him to be. So definitely needing to play a little bit more, focusing on the gold lane. But speaking of focus, Excellence Era just trying to go in for that red buff, trying to take it, but looks like the Simpsons have other plans as they are playing overly aggressive. Martis using Mortar Core to try and rush out, and he is able to steal the red buff from Fatboy.
Does steal the red buff in the TRS, already kind of applying some pressure right to the side of Excellent Air. You can see that they look to match up with them on these rotations and maybe beat them to it, especially on these small little wins, right? These small creeps. It all adds up, right, to the gold lead. Speaking of adding up, the members of Excellent Air are currently stacking up right now.
It looks like they are possibly going in for a fight, but deciding to disengage, as we do know Turtle is quickly spawning in. Both sides kind of a little bit even, a little bit more in the favor in terms of gold for the Simpsons, but not too much of a difference as both teams are kind of preparing to get that level 4 to have that advantage on this neutral objective.
Absolutely. Looking for the objective. We do see Shadow, though, getting dangerously low as the first objective is being worked on. So we're going to work on there. We do see Eugen forcing out the black groups. It is going to pick up the first blood kill. Fatboy calling in the stampede. It's going to be another kill going to Fatboy's hand. While that Lord was secured, Stoner, though, currently being chased down by 3 members. The glue is going to step in with the CC. Fatboy is finally caught up, flickering out, but the split is going to connect. Now the members are looking to finish him out. Fatboy picking up 2 kills there, a 2 for 1 none trade there, going into their favor.
Definitely a good advantage right now for the side of Excellent Era, able to secure 2 kills and also in the hands of no other than Leomord, their jungler, which will give them the slight advantage in terms of farm. But speaking of slight advantage, a possible gank and proxy of minions on the top side as the Simpsons trying to crash in the gold lane.
Definitely Shadow Sense being called also being popped. Weezy's going to find that kill, though. Vengeance coming out from Gojo, not going to get focused down, but they got what they came for, right? Whoa, that name almost got me there, but we do see Fatboy getting pushed out in the jungle here. Westside King applying that pressure with the Ring of Order.
Wait. Yeah, there's definitely some interesting names indeed. You do see the Ring of Order going in by Kaja, deciding to disengage. 2-2 right now, kind of even, and both teams kind of focusing on these objectives and able to get some kills in the process. About 1,000 gold lead in the hands of the Simpsons, the grand finalists for North America in the recent North American Challenger tournament. But speaking of challenges, over in the gold lane, you do see Divine Judgment.
Definitely Divine Judgment, no problem there. Put another hand in Wheezy's hand. This is what you want to see, right? Get your gold laner online. 2 kills already in Wheezy's hand on that late game scaling. So you're going to scale on the team fight is growing right now. But we do have a request for a P. Gonna go ahead and honor that pause there. A lot of action going on early in this game.
A little bit of a request for a pause, and it looked like that was possibly on the side of Excellent Era, so maybe having a Rim jump in there, and yeah, cool. Man, this is interesting. I love seeing these 2 teams, and I gotta say, we already know how the Simpsons kind of operates. They made it into the grand finals for North America, so we kind of expect them to play at that higher level. But let's look at Excellent Era. Just being able to take that lead. We saw that Leomord get that 2-0 answer for that first blood and then stacking that double kill. Definitely impressive nonetheless to be able to pull that off against a team of the caliber like the Simpsons.
Absolutely, the caliber of the Simpsons right now is it's up there, right? But it looks like Excellent Era is trying to hold on. I mean, you know, from what I've seen so far, right? They're not like getting beat out super hard or anything. They're finding some trades, finding some opportunity, right? What you don't want to let a team like Simpsons, you know, smell blood in the water, right? Or not Simpsons here, TRS, I guess we'll call them the Rock Stars. We don't currently have any Simpsons numbers, but even a team like the Rock Stars, right? You don't want to put any blood in the water and let them get hungry and know that you're, you know, getting nervous, getting scared, or not knowing or being unsure about what your next move is, because that's where those top teams start to take advantage, right? Once they know that you don't know what you're doing, start making those careless mistakes as a new team, right? They pick you apart, they dissect you quickly in the game. They're analyzing the whole time they're playing. That's the scary thing about some of these top teams. They are literally learning you as they are actively playing against you in these matches.
And I love to see all these teams jumping into the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy. Who's just been piling up with a lot of competition. So, ladies and gentlemen, definitely focus in. But speaking of focus, back into the Land of Dawn we go.
We are back into the Land of Dawn. Fight still hopping over the blue buff there. The split did pick up and separates a member there. Zenith's going to pick up that kill on Martis in the jungle, and that's ahead of this neutral objective. Turtle coming up. Speaking of objectives, Wheezy has been shredding that gold lane. Wheezy, what you doing out there right now, my man? The Turtle now being focused. But speaking of focus, Wheezy might be in some trouble. We have failed, potentially failing the gank here, but Fatboy is going to jump over with the Stampede. A thumbs up emote. Wheezy feeling comfortable, maybe potentially wins one forward, but he's still alive. The Shadow is going to go ahead and catch him with that glue. They'll probably take this tower, but on the other side, TRS is still securing that Turtle, so it looks to be trading what you expect from these high-level teams.
Man, Wheezy definitely living up to the name. That was impressive. A 1v4 situation. He almost got a kill out of it too, but not able to hit the mark. Speaking of hitting the mark, Eugen getting a kill on to Zenith in that that process. A little bit of look at the items right now as we are going into that 5-minute mark. You are looking at that Lilia with the magic. She's the enchanted talisman, going for that CDR route, but in the mid lane, a clash going in, a possible vengeance being procced by Gojo.
Absolutely, Black Blue's going to reset those glooms. Eugen being able to stampede though to reduce some of that damage, right? But Gojo's going to get forced back on the recall here. Top lane is about to be traded out though from the side of TRS. They lost a tower. Beasley's going to find it. We also see Fredrin picks up a tower. So TR is being very efficient, right, on this macro. They're finding quick towers here early on in the game. Underneath the 6-minute mark, already finding 2 towers, a couple turtles, and some kills there on the board. Currently up 2K, but speaking of being up, they do force the split switch from Zenith dangerously low there. You can attribute that to Faramis, right, facing into one of those counters. So even though we are seeing a unexpected pick, we are seeing some counterplay happen from the side of TRS.
Now, this is, amazing turnaround. The Simpsons right now, even though they're down in kills, they've taken 2 towers. Their placement is very hard for Excellence Era to kind of deal with, as they are losing these towers left and right, and still almost even on kills right now for the Simpsons. Up in gold by about 1,200, but Divine Judgment connecting, and Gojo does fall.
Does fall, a kill going into the hands of TRS. They're applying the CC, knocking back Zenith. The Cold Altar has been popped now on the chase, but Zenith again gonna hit that split to be able to escape. And I don't know how many times that's gonna work out for them, but I do know with them being forced to back, the pressure is on in the mid lane currently. Like we said, TRS forcing their will right now. You can see the game kind of spinning on its end.
Speaking about spinning, Crit is there for Weezy right now, picking up that Berserker's Fury, also having that Wind Talker at his disposal, trying to go for that full kit to burst down these beefier heroes and have the crit as well. But speaking of crit, speaking of burst,
we do see Gojo getting caught out here. Going to drop that Curse of Blood. Not going to connect. Vengeance also getting popped out. Conceal out from Westside King, though. I was thinking he might divine that, but not going to go for it. Wise withholding there of the utility as they start up this turtle. Going to hold it a little longer. Wait for a better opportunity as they camp this bush. Turtle is being taken. Doesn't like Excellent Era. Knows they can't contest this. Not going to go out for it, but also going to lose their mid tower. And that's what you don't want to see. You don't want to see those get stacked up. Speaking of stacked up, we see the CC getting applied to Gojo. Doesn't have the Vengeance this time to escape. Storm is going to find that kill. Stampede getting called in, though. A lot of action. Zen is going to take a dangerous slow. Weezy's going to go ahead and connect and find that kill there as the members of TRS. A flicker in Stampede to be able to pull Shadow there. Using a dangerous slow. Black Blue's going to reset Lily there. Weezy low. Fusion low. Plume is doing some massive damage there. Going to pick up a kill. Shadow chasing down Stoner now. Fat Boy trying to do some damage with the momentum. Stoner is dangerously low. Gloom's not going to be able to connect to get the kill. He's taken away with 1 HP, and what a trade there from both teams.
My goodness, what a clash. Still almost even in terms of kills, and 3,000 gold lead for the side of the Simpsons. They are winning by objectives as they are slowly keeping more, they're taking more and more real estate on the map. These towers are falling only down to the mid turrets for every single lane right now. Looking at items, you do see a little bit of the cursed helmet on that glue, that beefier tank glue that can kind of, grab you up and use that execute at its disposal, but not able to really make much happen.
Not able to make much happen. We do see the Divine Judgment also not going to make much happen there. They're going to be able to retreat. For some reason, Eugen's going to pop the Cult Altar there. Nothing to really happen, but Stoner, knowing he has backup on the way, is going to dive into the members of Excellent Air here in the top lane. Blood Link is going to go down, but not going to find anyone there. Gojo going to wisely back off. The Vengeance does get popped. A lot of utility going to use from both sides of these teams as Shadows apply a little more pressure with the Gloom, but they're going to wisely retreat.
And oh man, we're only 8 minutes in, and you are seeing right now the pressure of the Simpsons, the grand finalists, working their magic across the map. Down goes that glue we were talking about, that interesting wild card pick, but now having a harder time. 1-3-1 on the KDA.
Absolutely, and we do see Westside King over here in the backline applying pressure with that ring of punishment there. The members of Excellent Air are going to group up on this mid lane as it's currently being pressured ahead of this Lord, right? Spawning up in 10 seconds. The bot lane being pushed in by the many ways. Oh, we do see a flicker though. Divine Judgment's going to connect, suppress. They're going to burst it out by using Fat Boy's low. Members are getting taken out. Martis with the Mortal Coils is trying to pull Shadow out of there. Going to force the reset. Speaking of resets, Cult Altar is barely about to get bursted out now. It's gone. Zenith is there, but too late. This fight is already over. The moment he tries to get started, 2 members down. The side of TRS is going to start grouping up for this Lord.
Definitely go for that objective. We've been seeing this all day right now from the side of the Simpsons. focusing on towers, not chasing for fights unless absolutely necessary. Definitely having a focus on what is important to close out this game in the early phases. We are only 9 minutes in, and Lord has been slaughtered over there by Wheezy, and also another tower in the process, leaving the bottom lane down to the inhibitor. 10-minute mark. Looking at the items currently, you are seeing that Carmilla building a little bit of that anti-heal with that Dominus Ice, has the Antique Curious for the physical damage, you know, that Martis, that the Fredrin, and also the carry can provide. May need a possible blade armor to kind of counteract the basic attack that the carry also provides in addition to that. But we know how scary late game Wheezy can be. Speaking from experience, no pun intended. But speaking of late game, a clash going down.
Definitely Cold Ultra being stacked up by the Blood Links there from Carmilla. A lot of CC getting put down by Mortal Coils. Might be able to secure the kill, but the reset's going to come out from Shadow there. Not going to be able to find anything. Yujin with the Stampede trying to find something, but that Ice Queen wall from Shadow right by catch. Yujin out, getting dangerously low. We do see the members of Excellent Air being able to retreat and regroup. Nobody's down, but a lot of skills used there. That could have been bad from either side, but speaking of things being bad, that mid lane's being pressured down from Wheezy. You're looking so good out there on the desk, on the map at both times. I don't know how you do it. A 2-for-1 trade right now. Glue going in, trying to hit the split, but gets pulled by Divine Judgment. Gonna get taken out by Wheezy. Links are down. Damage being split there. We do see Stampede coming out. Fail. Finds a kill there, killing something. Maybe not that, but Fat Boy and Gojo trying to apply some more pressure. Gojo might have overextended. Wheezy gonna find the double kill there. The members of Excellent Air is being forced back to the tower. So much damage gonna put out Wheezy. Almost getting taken out there. Fat Boy trying to find some on West. What side's gonna be able to find the retreat? Members down from both sides. That trade obviously going into the favor of TRS. Excellent Air getting pushed to the brink of elimination.
Oh my goodness, the Simpsons just on fire. And speaking of fire, Wheezy with the KDA of 613, like we said, living up to that name. You know, he's running that that sprint. I'm wondering, like, why is Carrie running so fast when it gets to these difficult situations?
Ooh, Cold Ultra being forced out by Zenith, though. Gonna hit the split. Gojo trying to find something to connect here. Cold Ultra gonna be burnt out. Ooh, Zenith's face and that counter from Foramus, the damage coming out there, taking them super low. Westside King going Wheezy. Flicker in the suppress on the Lilia here. Not gonna be able to hit those Black Boot Shadows. Turns to nothing else but a ghost here. We do see the members coming in. Gojo trying to find a stun here. Will they be able to connect? Glue going in. Not gonna find the CC to pick up anything. Fat Boy has called a Stampede. Not gonna get any damage in, though. Going back over the wall. Gonna clear these minions. Try to stop the side of TRS from pushing these towers. Speaking of pushing towers, TRS formulating up in the top side. Mortal Coils in, trying to keep them away, but we do see Zenith going in right now. Maybe going for the split, trying to pick up a kill. Does find Westside. That is going to be a kill on him. Zenith's picking up a member there. Members down, one from both. We see some more clashing though. Zenith's getting hit up by the Mortal Coils. Some Cult Alter action coming in. Zenith might get taken out. He does get taken out by the decimation there. Martis showing you why he's top of the patch right now with so much damage coming in, even with the tank build right now. We do see Fat Boy gonna get taken out by Wheezy with a little bit of taunt there. Gonna make Shadow force the Black Boots before being able to secure that kill, but in the top side we still see some more action. Stoner, the combination with Mars right now, the CC is going crazy. They're picking up kills left and right. That's a 2-for-1 trade going into the hands of TRS ahead of this Lord.
Oh my goodness, the Simpsons living up to their name. The second best team in North America, taking second to none the less than the Valley themselves. Impressive. They've been playing really smart. They have almost every single tower minus the first one in the top side. But they have left, you know, Excellence Era in an awkward position, only down to their inhibitor turrets. They've lost one already. And the question is, how much longer can they hold out, as the Simpsons are not putting their foot off the gas? They are going for this early finish. Can they creep up to that late game, that 16-minute mark? And even with late game, you're relying more on that Bruno. But speaking of late game, a possible clash right before our eyes as both teams getting ready to clash.
We do see the clash. Shadow, Gloom applying that pressure, going to force the Cold Altar. Spawn in from Wheezy there. Not going to be able to find anything. They have wasted the utility. There will not be a Cold Altar right ahead of this Lord pushing up in the top side. They have wasted a little bit of utility. Speaking of utility, a lot of items are going to pick up some penetration from Scarlet Phantom there. They are going to be able to fight back right now. We do see the members of TRS currently grouping up mid, top side. Stoner leading that push with the Lord. Another minion. That's 4+5 with Stoner leading the way. Glorified Cannon right there. We do see the engage coming in. They are grouping up. So much flickers coming out. lot of utilities being burnt out. Vin is already being popped out from Gojo. Gojo's gonna get taken out by Wheezy in the back line, though. We do see Fat Boy applying that pressure, that weight. Shadow's gonna take out Yujin. Shadow's gonna take out Mortis. And the defense is insane. A double kill going into fail. He's killing something. Maybe not those, but he's killing players for sure. As the members of Excellent Error has almost wiped out the side of TRS. Actually, they did, but the fast spawn in from Farames has been forced, but he might be running into 3 members of Excellent Error here. He has to be careful. All his allies are down. If he dies here, this could spell for disaster. We do see Fat Boy going for the cut. We do see the Shadow Stampede in from Yujin there, but getting bursted out by Shadow. You have to be careful. Like we said, a lot of members are down. Fat Boy calling the Stampede. Yujin might have made a mistake. Cold Ultra popped in, but it might be bursted out by Shadow. Shadow's gonna pop it. Silence. He does have immunity, but Fat Boy still on the Stampede is going for the tear. Gets the Stampede and the flicker out, almost getting taken, but that's after 2 towers get pressured by Excellent Error off that excellent defense of the Enhanced Lord.
Oh my goodness, but Yujin, an impressive play, going against a 5-man team up in the second best team in North America, and didn't even fall. Was able to get out with that cold altar and then activating that flicker after that immortality procced. Definitely impressive indeed. Kind of delaying the Simpsons from ending that game. But speaking of endings, the over-aggression by the Simpsons to go in for the clash on the blue buff.
Absolutely, we see Glue going in with the split. We do see the Stampede as well. They are catching a member. Martis is getting taken down here. Failed is getting a kill. But look at the top side. We do see Fretchen maybe potentially going for the back door. Going to make the members have to retreat there and respond to that boy. I thought we were about to see a crazy back door from the side of TRS.
Ooh, the double Magic Sentry, not playing any games on Excellence Era. It's going to spot out the entire jungle for themselves. Where are the Simpsons? Where are they? As they know they are trying to close this game 16-15 in lead of the Simpsons by 1 kill, but in terms of gold up by 1,000. Look how much gold there already is. 50,000 gold on the board. Looking at the items, we are seeing a lot of utility being picked up as they are going toward that full kit, that 16-minute mark. You are looking at that Faramus, the Lightning Truncheon, the Holy Crystal, the Glowing Wand for some additional damage, the full tank build, Fredrin with the Cursed Helmet to do some damage for himself. You're looking at that Glue, the interesting wild card pick, going more of that beefier route too with that Cursed Helmet at his disposal. A lot of immortalities. Everybody has immortality minus the Bruno on the side of Excellence Era.
And we are seeing a clash here. Wheezy gonna force out the black boost, but might have overextended. He's gonna find his way back over the wall. The CC is on Gojo. We do see the curse blood going down. Cold Ultra as well. Gojo's taken dangerously low here. Might get taken out. He finds a way out. Wheezy kiting right now. They have separated Zenith from the team, but the split has connected. We do see Bruno does find a kill on Martis here. The members of Excellent Air are dangerously low. They want to step up and help Zenith, but they're too low. The members of TRS are stacked with HP. They can definitely close out here and find Fat Boy. They can find the members trying to retreat. Gojo with the Athena's passive being popped. He does throw the ultimate to try to secure some space, but seeking a space. Kaj not going to get any Divine Judgment's going to find him. Zenith also low here, gets the Immortality prop. Is going to get taken out by the members of TRS. There's only 2 members left from the side of Excellent Era. Make that 3 though. Gojo is back full HP. Shadow's going to get forced back. Fat Boy trying to clear the wave as the members of TRS are looking to end the game right here, right now. They are staying up in the mid lane. They might go for the end here. Only 3 members like we said, 3 on 4 here, but it looks like the side of TRS is going to go for the retreat here. If Shadow doesn't stop them, we do see some momentum damage from Fat Boy, but the pull off is there. Probably going to go focus on this Lord.
That's right, and Luminous Lord has spawned in, and right now, is this something you want to contest? Down 2 members for the side of Excellence Era. They are down that Rome, that crazy Glue wildcard pick, but they are going to go for this fight.
Absolutely down members, but not down confidence. The 3 members are coming in. Fat Boy is going to secure that Lord. What a steal. Can they get out here to look for the disengage? The Conceal comes out from Shadow. They might be able to make it out. Kobo to pop by Yujin. They're trying to find something here. The Stampede's not going to connect, and that is an insane comeback there. What a play from the side of Fat Boy. Fat thumbs on the retreat button. Not enough from the side of TRS to be able to zone out that objective.
Are you serious right now? Able to get that back door. Stealing that Lord, a huge objective to turn the tide for the side of Excellence Era, and they are going to put the Simpsons in that defensive position. Can they close this game out?
We're going to close out there. The split not going to be able to close out a pick off there, so the utility is gone from Zenith on this XP pick as the members of TRS are going to quickly burst this out. But Wheezy in the top side is forcing members to recall. It might have been the reason why they're looking to back here. Zenith's the only member back right now. The rest of them are being forced off from the recall. Wheezy might be pressed back from Blue, but speaking of getting pressed off here, Fat Boy almost getting cut out here. Wheezy's going to cut on the back door for the flank for the rotation, though, looking to take a member down. Wheezy super aggressive going against 3 members here. Going to get pushed back from Shadow on this Gloom. Ooh, but Bruno Bruno recalling late here, trying to help his team out in any way possible. The side of TRs are closing in. I don't know if they're going to go for the push here. They only have 1 minute wave present. The top side, though, from the side, XLR, keeping them in check here in this game. A lot of poke going on. Shadow with the glooms is stepping up. He's feeling confident, has the web boost, has immortality, can afford to use this poke, but the side of TRs is looking to disengage here. The sentry is going out. They're going to reveal them. Hold up, Stampede coming out. Going to cancel that retreat. The teams are still fighting. Fusion trying to Stampede out. The blood link has came down. 3 members currently attached to this. They are securing a kill here, potentially on Martis. Zenus is going to secure that. Cult Altar not going to save him now. He's going to the grave, not the underworld, to come back from the nether.
Oh my goodness! What a turnaround now, neck and neck between Excellence Era and The Simpsons. I don't know which way this is gonna go. Place your votes now. Claim your team. Who will take game 1 for this series? A beautiful trade in classes and objectives, leaving The Simpsons down to their inhibitors. But on the side of Excellence Era, they have nothing at their disposal in terms of map defense. So they have to be very careful on both sides for these clashes.
They're proving everyone they got something in the back here, but so many members taking a lot of damage. They're going to get forced back. Oh my goodness. The all-in almost was an all-in loss there, but we do see Wheezy maybe going for the flank. Can he find Gojo here in the bush? He does find him in the bush. Gojo might have made a mistake. Fusion flickering in with the Stampede. Going to pull him back. The link is going to come down, but it's going to be too late. Cold to pop. Immortality pop. Gojo caught out in a mistake here. Usually going to find that killer. Westside King looking to find something, looking to connect, but he can't get there. Shadows keeping him caught back from the glooms with that Ice Queen wall, but that is a member down from the side of Excellent Era. A 1-for-0 trade.
Oh my goodness, we are 100% in the late game right now. And these teams are insane. Some high level gameplay indeed, not letting us know which way this is gonna go, but pretty even. We've seen a little bit of the lead in this terms of objectives from the side of the Simpsons, but as towers are not on the map no more, we're seeing an equal level of macro and micro.
We are seeing a gank here on Zenus. I thought they might commit for that, but being wise here, not going to all in yet, but they might all in now. After seeing that, the CC is getting stacked up. Fusion, Stoner, combining Immortality Pop. Weezy is going in for the backline here. Going to pick up a kill. Oh, with so much burst, Cold are going to save him though. He's going to take out Bluto. They're going to take out Zenus. That's 2 members down from the side of Excellent Era. Shadows, the only member there currently. The rest of them are looking at Lord. They're going to have to go for the recall here. They could be in trouble. TRS is applying pressure. The split right now that they just provided put Excellent Era in an uncomfortable position. Speaking of uncomfortable though, we do see Shadow trying to keep up with him on the Gloom. Stoner going to be able to disengage here. There's only 3 members from Excellent Era. Like we said, 5 members still up for TRS. They are going to go for this enhanced lore. I don't think we're going to go see the Hail Mary, the miracle play from Excellent Era. There's no way they can do it. The mini waves are pushed up. They're not going to be able to come contest this right now. It's going to go uncontested to the side of TRS.
Oh my goodness, the items are there. Everybody in full build. Fredrin able to take a lot of damage. He was taking all the hits from Excellence Era right there with that full tank item. You do see that fleeting time picked up by the Kaza to try and get that Divine Judgment a little bit faster to get that displacement. Maybe going in the back door and taking out that Lilia or that Bruno to close out this game. But they are both preparing for this final classes. All members have spawned back in for Excellence Era, and they are going to try and end the game. But the question is, can they do it? The Simpsons, the grand finalists in NACT, going against a new team up and coming for the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy, and they're going against one of the best and doing a phenomenal job. But you do see Luminous Lord and Minions have been synced into the Simpsons on the clash for the end.
On the clash conceal in Divine Judgment's going to secure that kill on field. The backline's already done. Weezy logging in on the tower. The members still clashing, but the ADC is got one goal in mind, and that is the win. But Cabo's going to pick them up. The win is going to fall into the hands of TRS. What a back and forth we just saw tonight, Weezy.
Oh my goodness! That tower went down faster than I could blink. I'm not gonna lie, but definitely the Simpsons living up to their team name, to their what everybody knows them for. And then Carrie with the MVP, Wheezy with the MVP. That's not too out of the ordinary. I mean, I see it all the time. You know what I'm saying? But definitely good nonetheless, and impressive that Carrie with that sprint, just rushing in, always at the right place at the right time. But something I want to point out, right? Looking at the Simpsons, they made a really smart move. They forced Martis to go to that Lord, the Luminous Lord, and it made Leomord uncomfortable, and he went out of position to try and contest it. And they knew with Martis over there, we can take advantage of pushing in the base. And then they got some kills, forcing Leomord to retreat, and that gave them all the numbers they needed for that slight advantage and also to take the Lord. And they took the Lord, and then they did the syncage of lanes and ended the game. And man, oh man, was it a close one. I don't even know. Deku, going into game 2, I'm not even sure if the Simpsons is going to take it. We might be seeing a game of 3 today, a 3-game series if they keep up this momentum and pressure from both sides.
I'm definitely hoping so. We saw a lot of fight back, right, from the side of Excellent Era. I mean, Fat Boy on that leaderboard, almost, right, being able to uproot the side of TRS with that incredible Lord Still, the 3v4, the confidence, right, to come in for your first night in the Scrim Academy up against a team like this, a caliber like this, and being able to be confident and actually securing that Lord Still, right? I mean, if that's how these games are going to be going forward, we're definitely getting a best of three. Definitely no sweep on the map tonight.
Definitely, man. I don't know. Like I said, that was explosive. I love the way these teams drafted, and I was expecting that higher level of fighting, but man, it just, even what I've expected, they kind of beat those expectations. Like we said, though, this is a best of three, and these teams are preparing to possibly jump into the second game here shortly. But speaking of shortly, guys, we are the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy, and every single day, Monday through Thursday, we offer the opportunity for you guys to practice against these top teams and prepare for MPL for North America. That's right. Monday and Wednesdays, we offer King of the Hill, where you guys can compete. Winning team stays on in a best of one starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then going into the final team is done. Everybody gets a game. Everybody gets a win, possibly. And we see a lot of these teams kind of competing, knocking out top teams like Ackerman and new teams claiming that title. And it's just been explosive all week. We're only in week 2 and seeing some strong names and some strong players joining the academy. It's just nothing but amazing. So I appreciate you guys being here. Like I said, this is the best of 3 between Excellent Era and The Simpsons. So it's not over yet. Don't go anywhere, as they are taking a little roster change to change it up. Maybe pulling in some additional secret weapons to kind of turn the tide in their favor for Excellent Era. But like I said, it's definitely going to be a good game indeed. Like I said, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with you guys momentarily.
Loved you from the first time you called me lame. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah, always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah, with you the summer came and went in a day, and I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah. Feel it when you're miles away, yeah. You can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind, always in my brain. With you the days are long and the nights are late, and I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. Ooh, and I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. To forget anyway, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back in the land of the dawn, and the series is not over. The explosive game one between Excellence Era and the Simpsons. But the Simpsons able to close it out. Neck and neck, though. Definitely a very close one indeed. But that is not it, as it is a series of 3.
A series of 3 indeed, and I'm hoping we go a full 3. I don't want to see a sweep, right? We've seen a sweep in the previous 2 series, and while they were entertaining, I want this to go the full way, right? That first game was incredible from both teams, right? But especially from Excellent Era. We kind of knew what to expect from the other side. We knew we would get some good gameplay, right? But Excellent Era, their first showcasing in the MLSA, I mean, you can't ask for a better game than that. The only way it gets better, right, is the win. That's the cherry on top. But they had the whipped cream right there. They're just missing the last piece there. But if they can secure that here in this second game, I just know the third game would be insane. But without getting too far ahead of ourselves, like I said, going into the second match, hoping to see the side of the Excellent Era maybe be able to compose themselves a little more there in the early game, because they were kind of fighting from the back end, right? They did a great job fighting on the back end, showing some heart, some grit, especially Fat Boy on that Leah Mord, but they need to be able to kind of secure that early so they don't have to fight from that position, right? Give themselves a little more of an even matchup. Speaking of even things, the bands looking a little disheveled here, right? We're seeing some bands we don't typically see. The Grok and the Benedetta being taken out in the first phase of the bands.
Definitely interesting draft indeed. But even in the first game, we saw a lot of bands that typically are banned walk. And there was a lot of meta on the board. Looking at the side of, the Simpsons, though, Wheezy over there being a problem on that carry. And that was a late game marksman. Keep that in mind. He was rotating. He was everywhere at the right place in the right time. There wasn't really an answer in terms of stopping him from being so explosive. Now, I will say, in terms of keys to victory for the side of Excellence Era, you have to kind of focus in on that gold lane. Stop Wheezy from popping off. If you stop that gold lane, you may see a little bit of a difference creeping up from that early to mid game, as the Simpsons just kind of dominated during that time frame. They didn't really have any issues pushing in those towers, going for those objectives. But as you kind of seen, when towers were not at their disposal, you've seen the micro, the macro, the synergy from the side of Excellence Era kind of shine. And it was pretty much on par with the Simpsons. So maybe just a game plan more in that early to mid phase, maybe what they need to remain in the series and take game 2.
Definitely. Speaking of staying in the series, staying ahead and in the draft, the Valentina gets picked up, right? Going to be a good deterrent against the side of TRS. You don't want to take too much utility, right, to put in the hands of Shadow, especially in your mid lane. Things like the Eve, right? The Farsa, those type of picks, those high grounds, even something like an Xavier even. You don't want to put those type of utility and ultimates into the hand of Shadow here. But things you do want to put into the hands of your players might be that Beatrix. We do see the Leah flipping sides, going to TRS after having to deal with it in the hands of Fat Boy. But wait a minute, that Beatrix picked up an interesting pick, but something else interesting here, Wheezy, that is Alfred making his appearance for the first time in the MLSA with his new team. Fat Boy is out. He did get swapped out. I think they're having a little bit of issues with the lag, but this is going to be great as well. Now we're getting to see them go into that bench there, kind of dig into those new players, that new pickup, right, already from the new team as we go into game 2.
This is kind of making me teary-eyed, seeing Alfred playing on Excellence Era. It's kind of like I'm seeing my son turn into a man right before my eyes, and I'm loving it. I remember when he was just a little boy playing Mobile Legends, and I had to try and pull him on the pro team and get him ready for that professional scene, and now seeing him kind of explode definitely makes his father proud. But looking at the draft so far, you do see that Valentina being slotted in, a strong pick for the first pick on Excellence Era. I like it. It makes the Simpsons kind of have to draft a little differently, as they don't want to give a lot of heroes out to that Valentina with that IMU to use at her disposal, stealing their ultimates and using it against them. But Wheezy locking in the Beatrix, the most used marksman in the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy, kind of able to do it all. Wesker, Rainer, able to do that Numir's passion and get the job done is definitely been a problem to deal with. And we've seen a lot of Rainer's empathy snipes. And if anybody can pull it off, after seeing Wheezy on that carry, I'm a little scared to see him on this Beatrix.
Absolutely. And we seen him play that carry a little unorthodox too. I don't know if you noticed, we had a crit build carry, not even the normal typical build you would see. Had that wind talker and went right to Berserker's Fury. But speaking of things going right into Leslie going into the ban phase, they already have picked up their marksman. Gonna go ahead and try to choke out the pool for the side of Excellent Air here, right? But don't sleep, right? Even without the marksman, Excellent Air has a lot to offer in the way of utility. You have the Valentina, the even still utility, and then you have the Carmilla, right? We've seen the Bloodlings, we've seen Gojo, right, be able to perform a little bit on this Carmilla. Got caught out, right, in some instances, maybe getting a little too far ahead and not being able to disengage, which is kind of an issue for Carmilla, right? You use that speed up to go land the stun, right? But then you don't have anything to get out of there. Gonna need to be able to find a way to either connect or quickly assess the situation and realize it may not be able to happen and get out of there. Speaking of things not happening, Esmeralda getting taken out, Frederick getting taken out, the XP pool is getting limited. Both teams are trying to choke out the other.
Looking at the draft so far, though, Carmilla sliding in on Gojo. I kind of like it. I'm surprised that it wasn't picked up over on the side of the Simpsons. The Yuzong, though, this is going to be interesting. Probably trying to drop down on those backlines, but you are rushing in to Eugen on that rough Wild Waves, able to get out of those tricky situations and possibly able to escape the Black Dragon completely. You do have Beatrix a little bit more mobility on her side. Looking at her capability and utility, she does have Wesker to kind of use that shotgun and possibly burst down the Yuzong as Zenith does drop in. But something we haven't seen yet, right? Stoner is going to possibly be pulling out the Uranus, but no swaps to the Lapu Lapu. I would have been interested to see the Uranus, but speaking of Lapu, definitely has been showing a rise in terms of picks for the MLSA and has been a dominant force. So this is going to be an interesting draft. I like the Liam Ward. He's definitely been one of the best junglers so far. Beatrix, one of the best marksmans. Lapu's been pretty solid for the MLSA. A couple teams were able to take a win under their belt with him slotted. And then also the Kadita, who's been, known over in the C region more than in A, but still a force to be reckoned with. But speaking of forces, you're seeing a need for late game potential on the side of Excellence Era. And what perfect way and what perfect hero to do it with, no other than Claude himself, with Dexter attached to his leg to do some blazing duets to an entire team and provide them that late game damage.
And it would be a nice pickup, especially behind Gojo on this Carmilla. When the links are down, the damage goes up. Speaking of damage, we do see Alfred locking in this bomb and gonna have a good time on those neutral objectives. Already has a very strong team for those team fights, and now gonna be able to contest without much confrontation. But I do want to speak of confrontation, right? This XP lane matchup we're about to see, Zenith with this Yuzhong and Stoner on this Lapu. It's not a matchup that typically gets slotted in some of these fights, right? Because there's normally other picks. But with Fredrin and Esme taken out, right, the Lapu is a great option, especially with those recent buffs he's had. But an interesting way this matchup goes, right? On paper, Lapu is supposed to win this lane. I feel like that's why Stoner took it. And the reason that it typically goes that way, right, is that Brave Fighter stance, right? Able to be able to enter into that state roughly without any cooldown. I think it goes to about like 18 seconds early in the game, but Yuzhong, the Black Dragon, can get forced out easily once he enters that mode, and that goes on cooldown for about 50 seconds. That offers another engage from Stoner in that lane, right, to be able to fight back against Lapu, and even against the Shaw passive with that Bravery's Blessing able to match up as far as durability and sustainability. The XP lane up matchup can easily go into the hands of Stoner if it's played right, and that's kind of where it comes down to, right? In between these two teams, and we know they're both pretty much on par with each other. It's going to come down to execution. It can go either way, but it should go into the hands of Stoner. I'll be interested to see how that matchup goes.
Now, we are looking at the Liam Ward jungle, one of the best junglers out right now, versus his predecessor, Ballman, over on Alfred. And I really want to see how this plays out. Two solid jungles. Definitely a good pick for both sides. Now, things that kind of have to happen for this game to pop off from both sides. Wheezy over there on the marksman. We know if he gets a little bit of that advantage, he can be the potential snowball that the Simpsons needs to take the game. So definitely need to kind of focus on that gold lane for the side of Excellence Era if they do not want to lose these early objectives. Now, speaking of the Simpsons, maybe protecting Wheezy should be their game plan and allowing him to kind of pop off and be that marksman that they need, especially when he has the early game advantage over on that Claude already.
Absolutely does have that advantage already on the Claude, and the more pressure that they get in that lane for one side over there on the side of TRS, the harder it's going to be for Failed on this laning assignment here. Speaking of assignments here, it looks like the side of TRS knows what they need to do, right? We've already seen them making the rotation over to kind of try to shut down this Claude. Rotations, we do see these appear. Zenith look for a little bit of poke action here on Stoner. Going to activate that short passive, taking him a little low there. Iron Hook going out, not going to connect to anything, but it looks like the fight is still going on, and XP Zenith is going to get taken out there. Don't think he was paying attention to the rotation from the side of TRS, and that's going to be a costly death ahead of this turtle.
Now, Excellence Era kind of focusing in on Wheezy. Can they get a kill? You do see Gojo rushing in.
You do see him going, is going to connect the stun. The Terrify is going to come out, but Gojo can take him over. The Vengeance is going to get popped out. It's going to get traded out by Wheezy. Wheezy's going to pick up that kill. They also take out, Wheezy's taken out by, not Wheezy getting taken out, but the side of West Side be able to pick up that kill there ahead of the Turtle, the side of Nefarious, or not Nefarious, TRS there. We're going to start up this Turtle here, uncontested. Liam Ward is going to go ahead and pick that up.
Definitely a good pickup indeed. And you got to say, even in the early game, we've seen Liam rush in and steal the blue buff straight out of the hands of Ballman. Definitely having to use that retribution a little bit faster, which kind of delayed him in that jungle, and that guaranteed that level 4 in the hands of Leomord. Speaking of level 4, we do see Blazing Duet popping off to clear some minions and deciding to use that mirror image effect to escape. 1-3 right now, almost at that 3-minute mark. Looking at items, you do see that Valentina with that CDR build going with those magic shoes. Also going to be possibly building, Enchanted Talisman on the way. Over on the bottom side, though, Wheezy, Westside King, and Eugen possibly preparing for a gank, but decide to shift focus toward the mid lane.
Shifting focus, Stampede, Raven Spider entering in. Zenith though trying to land that knockup, not going to connect. Iron is going to go out from West Side. There's a little bit of CC there. Zenith's going to pick up a kill on Liam Ward. Liam Ward does get taken out by Shadow. Stoner finding the kill. Usually going to find Zenith. Wheezy with a rotation that was going to pick up a kill on Shadow to trade that out. That's a marksman rotating over to an early mid lane fight, and that's insane. But that's what you want to see from your marksmen if they're on your side. What a play.
Man, what a play indeed. And this is what we kind of said going into this game. Keys to victory, right? Wheezy being the one on the team for the Simpsons to stack up that damage, stack up those kills. Already 2-1-0, and we know how explosive you can be with just a slight advantage, which is going to make it even harder in that gold lane.
Absolutely. Speaking of the gold lane, we see some action going on. Blazing going out with the Vengeance. Not going to find a kill there. Wheezy turning around. Alfred coming in with the lethal counter. Taking him low, but will he be able to find the kill? Stampede's going to come in, though, from the side of Leomord. Looking for more. Going to knock them back. Knock up from Kadita. Shadow coming in with the Terrify there. Trying to find a kill, but Eugen going to knock up Alfred and get the kill. Leomord going to find Valentina there on the exchange. That's 2 members down from the side of Excellent Era. In for nothing in the gold lane. Is going to get pressured by the side of TRS. What a gank. What a play.
What a play indeed. 3-8 in favor of the Simpsons. Definitely focusing on their power players, making sure Wheezy is online. And right now he is on fire. Looking at the items right now, he is going to go for that Blade of Despair. Decided to pick up, these items for it prior to finishing his boots. And Blade of Despair is fully built. And now with the highest DPS physical damage item in the game, he's going to be even more of a threat to the side of Excellence Era as they are preparing for this turtle. But Alfred with the retribution still making up for losing it in the early game, losing that retri battle on his blue buff. What a trade, what a steal in favor for Excellence Era.
And without the lethal counter, no less. What a play from Alfred on his first outing with his new team, with their first outing in the MLSA. A lot of firsts there from the side of Excellent Era and from the side of TRS, right? You want to be able to zone that. They had all the members. No reason D should have been walking up for free to take that. Speaking of walking up for free, we do see Shadow looking a little free there. The members are clashing him, forcing out the flicker, almost getting taken out. But speaking of getting taken out, the members of XP currently are trying to go for the return on Stoner. Not going to find anything though, but the members of TRS are joining into the clash. The numbers are there. The kill is also there. Zenith's getting taken out. D stuck in a hard place right now, but his team is also coming to back him up as the members are retreating. But Wheezy going for this mid lane. Conceal out for Westside. Bloody Hunt on the Valentina here. Gonna land the Iron Hook as well. Wheezy's gonna take the tower. No backup there. Not gonna be there in time. Shadow's gonna pick up the side on Westside. Send him all the way to the north side of the map. Wheezy trying to force the flicker out. Trying to get out of trouble there. Stoner also fighting on Gojo trying to find a pick off there, but not going to succeed. But does have the pressure on the XP lane. Speaking of pressure, we do notice, right, the bot side has already been taken out. The mid side has been taken out. Speaking of pressure there, but the Leomord also in the fray. Terrified coming out, though. Going to be able to save Phil there in the bush and going to mirror it right out of danger's way.
Man, oh man, towers are dropping left and right, but the map is more opened up for the side of the Simpsons, pushing in to the side of Excellence Era. They were able to take that mid turret, only losing the bottom side as Wheezy went and decided, hey, if I take the mid, it's okay if I lose mine, because we have a stronger presence on the map now, and that is going to open up a lot of opportunity for the Simpsons. Looking at both sides right now, Wheezy 2-1-10 over on the marksman. Claude, he does need to get a little bit online. He's that late game damage. So speaking of late game damage,
Terrifying, Blazing Duet coming out. Shadow gonna find the kill on Wheezy. Westside gonna land the hook, but he's all alone. Still getting forced out though. Gonna help him escape from that 4-man barrage, right? From the side of Excellent Air. But on the opposite side, TRS is going to go ahead and start up this turtle, though. No contest. Well, hold up. Wait a minute. Zine is coming in with the Black Dragon. Iron Hook over there. Will he be able to secure? Not going to secure. Leo, uncontested with the retreat, is going to be fine. That turtle, but Gojo and Zine is trying to collapse here on the Lapu Lapu, on Stoner Fusion with a watchful eye over the turtle wall. They're going to go ahead and disengage from that. Nothing to gain there. The turtle falls in the hand of TRS.
Man, oh man, what a trade. But they are slowly climbing in objectives. A little bit of a stun onto Leomord.
Absolutely, the fight's still going on, trying to stampede out, but the Terrify's gonna connect this. So it's the lethal counter. Down he goes, but in the top lane, we do see them trading out. Gonna get this tower, gonna find something to trade out on the map. That's just what you expect from a team like TRS as they find that. But oh, hold up here, we do see the Iron Hook miss. The links are down, gonna connect. The Kadita is gonna pop the ultimate, not gonna find a kill there. They're on Gojo, Brave Fighter stance, but we did see Xena's find a kill on Beatrix solo off screen, but Stoner still going in with the Raging Slash, trying to dive into the members of Excellent Air. Not gonna find anything though. Speaking of Excellent Air, finding a tower in the bot lane in the way of failed on this Claw, trying to go for the recall here. Can he get out in time? Narrowly escapes Kadita with the waves rushing in.
That man just broke the camera. He recalled when we panned over on him. What a play. Man, broke necks, broke cameras, and broke the vision over there as that Kadita tried to close in and stop that recall. 7-9 right now as these towers are falling, but Excellence Era able to find an answer in pushing in that tower on the top side. Speaking of answers, you do see Alfred rushing in for that jungle.
Oh, speaking of answer there, we do see the Raging Slash coming in. The Sun's going to connect from the Brave Side stance. Alfred's going to get taken out here. Failed, going to have to mirror out there, get away from the members of TRS. But speaking of getting away, Xena's trying to make sure they don't get away. Landing in with the pitch rod, not going to connect. Sun's going to get away, but the side of Lee more dangerously low. Might get taken out. Shaw Pass popped out here. He's all alone with the Bloody Cut West Side with the Iron Hook flicker to the tower. Xena's going to be able to jump out, terrified on Stoner. Shadow's going to pick up that kill on Stoner. Fusion trying to go for more. Failed, going to catch him underneath the tower. Xena's in a 1v2 currently all alone. Weeds going to find that kill. Nibiru's passion, not going to find anything though. Westside looking at Shadow, going for the Iron Hook. Shadow going to wisely dash over the wall, and that's going to be the end of that fight. A 2-for-1 trade going into the favor of TRS as the Lord spawns in.
And you do see them contesting, taking this blue buff farm, not allowing any room for opportunity on the side for Excellence Era. And they are possibly going to get the zonage for this Lord. They are down Eugen, though, as he is slowly spawning into the base and possibly waiting and being a little bit more patient. Going to go ahead and split push and create opportunity for this Lord push. You do see minions on the top side kind of creeping their way in as they're down to their inhibitor for the side of the Simpsons. But the question is, who will this Lord go to right now? As both teams kind of looking for a fight prior to going for that Lord.
Hold up here, looking for something here. Gojo with the conceal. Knock up, Petrify coming out for the used arm. The whole fight is unleashed. The Rude Passion coming out. Dean's gonna find a kill on West Side with that lethal counter. Leomord damn too low. Zine is zoning out the members coming out from the side of TRS. They pick up the kill nice and quick, and that's what you need. One pick off there and diverge straight to the Lord. What a play, what a rotation right over. Not gonna overextend. Speaking of overextend, Fusion might be in trouble because it does land ultimate though. Stoner gonna follow up with some Weezy gonna pop Gojo down. Fusion gonna find a kill on Shadow. Stoner with the Raging Slash trying to pop a kill. Weezy with the runner's empathy is gonna connect the synergy, the micro. Oh my goodness, you can see the synergy now from TRS is online as they're gonna go ahead and take this Lord.
This might be one of the best snipers I've ever seen. Wheezy connecting a mile away on to Alfred on the Ballman to secure that kill. Man, oh man, putting the icing on the cake to guarantee them that neutral objective when it wasn't even looking like it was going to go in their favor. And now towers are being pushed in as the inner turret on the top side falls to these minions, and a possible bush play on the way as they are maintaining that foothold on the side of Excellence Era's jungle. And man, like I said, 10 minutes in, creeping into that mid to late, starting that mid game exactly, and you do see Lord pushing in on the top side. A little bit of a brace fighter stance used a little too early, but a concealed play over there by Westside King.
Absolutely, the members are joining in here. 5v4 currently on the side of TRS. The links are down, but so is the damage right now. CC coming in, knocked out from Kadita. Liam Moore gonna find a kill on these. They're gonna get taken out, but in the back line, Zenus fighting against 3 members, gonna land the knockup. Does get the strong pass to pop off. Fusion might get taken out. Claude does pick a kill up on Fusion. Nimbus Passion coming out from Weezy. A lot of damage. Double kill going into the hands of Claude, but members are still falling. Liam Moore gonna find Zenus on the connect. Shadow gonna find Stoner in the back line all alone. That is the 3-for-2 trade going into the hands of TRS. Oh my goodness, and they're still going for more. As the members of Recon, they are going to push this tower. We're going to pop the passive. Wheezy still going for it. Dangerously taking tower shots. He's trying to get it with the rocket launcher, but Shadow doing a good job of warding him away. My goodness, the trades right now.
Oh, he's not done. He didn't pull out Rainer. He ain't done.
He's hungry.
Ooh, we do see a tower falling in the inner turret for that mid lane in favor of the Simpsons right now, leaving the inhibitors only left at the disposal for Excellence Era. But is that enough? Can they hold on and turn this game into their favor? They did push in the bottom side, though, so they are down to that inhibitor on the bottom lane for the side of the Simpsons. Still holding on to that inner turret for the top and mid lane. Looking at the items right now, you're looking at Beatrix, Wheezy being the answer for their team with that Blade of Despair, Hunter Strike, and also that Malefic Roar for the pin, and then a little bit of a safeguard with the Wind of Nature. Looking at KDA, though, you do see Liam Ward 7, 2, and 3, but speaking of the team, Zenus falling over there for the side of Excellence Arrow, leaving them down 1 member.
Absolutely, in a 5v4 here. Westside King walking up on Gojo here. Not going to fall for anything. Not going to commit to going for a play here. Speaking of commit, though, we do see the members inching forward. Think they're trying to figure out where they're going to go. We do know that Boss Tower is going to get taken down from Wheezy after all that work he put in on it earlier. As the members are stacked up there, 4 in the mid lane currently. Lapu on the top side. They might look to go for a push still. Zenus is currently still down, but it looks like it might just wait for Westside. He looks like he's trying to line up maybe an Iron Hook if the side of Excellent Air is careless on positioning. We do see the mid lane come in. Renner Infinite's going to connect with Alfred. Not going to do too much damage. He is a tank there. Iron Hook goes out. Not going to connect, but a stun does land on him. Stampede is going to further pull him. Zenus going for the knockup. Not going to find anything. Still coming out from Westside. Being careful here. They're walking around the bush. Currently hiding here. Maybe look for something still. Stoner in the top side. Looking at 4 members, though. Speaking of 4 members, the 4 members from his side are going to direct their attention over to the enhanced forward. Stoner's going to stay in the top side. The 5 members, though, of Excellent Air are going to move out. Do need to keep our eye on Stone over there, but no, Stone is going to go ahead and rotate over Westside King. Currently giving some vintage here, trying to keep the side of them away from the Lord. Speaking of the Lord, they do go ahead and secure that ahead of this next push.
Man, oh man, definitely a huge objective in the hands of the Simpsons to try and close out this game. Eugen picking up the Divine Glaive, given that additional late game magic pin. You did see Oracle go into the hands of Lapu Lapu over there on TRS Stoner for some sustainability to his kit to be that frontline his team needs to kind of end this game. As we know, Luminous Lord is making the way downtown to that bottom lane, and they are going to go ahead and try and sink these minions. They are going to go for the finish. Can Excellence Era hold off against the dagger of the Simpsons, or will the Simpsons be able to close it out and penetrate their shields as Lord is making his way to the base, to the Nexus, and these inhibitors are falling?
Absolutely, and we can see the hunger in the side of TRS. Westside King doing a little bit of a heat check here, maybe looking for something. Stampede does get called in. Westside throwing the Iron Hook, not going to connect to anyone though. No engage coming out from the hook, but we do see Zenus doing a good job trying to zone out with the Black Dragon form. Is going to go over onto the back line. Not a good play, overextended. Usually going to pick up Zenus there on the kill, and we do see Alfred is going to pick up a kill on Liam Ward though. Raging Slash in effect. Wheezy picks up a kill on Abort there. Abort the mission here as the members are falling from the side of Excellent Air. Another member down. Wheezy picking up a double kill. Iron Hook goes out, not going to connect. He does flicker in. He's going to find the triple kill, finding more. Can he go for the game here? They do have the minions. They do have the numbers. The emotes are out. The celebration is there. He might go for the Maniac, going for the tower as well. He's going to go for a roll like Captain here. He's going to do nothing but sit in the base. And TRS will end this game.
Oh, man. Oh, man, they put Alfred over there on the bomb and in detention. Sit in the corner. Get over there. Don't you turn around. Wheezy, a problem. Yo, you said a single kill, a double kill, a triple kill, and then he put the last member of timeout in the base and let the Nexus get closed out, you know, time by time. And that was just insane over there by the full team of the Simpsons to pull that off. And ladies and gentlemen, they do close out the series. Man, who would you? What's crazy? What's crazy?
Yeah, your twin, he never put on the boots. He never.
Oh my goodness, he was out there with socks?
Out walked in with socks and no sandals. Jesus,
Oh my
man's a
goodness,
gamer.
even worse. Yo, that was
man.
insane.
He said, "Give me one boot and a couple damage items, and I'm gonna show you what to do with it."
What a play. Looking at the stats from both sides, you are seeing a lot of the tower damage in the hands of Wheezy right there. Just kind of doing it all. Had the most damage for the team, had the most tower damage for the team, and also was pretty high up there in team participation. Looking at the side of Excellence Era, not able to really go up against them and put on the late game fight, but nonetheless did a good job. I think a little bit more time, a little bit more synergy, and you can see them being a potential threat. Like I said, they were going up against the Simpsons though. We know the Simpsons is the second best team in North America. These are the grand finalists making their way through the North American Challenger Tournament in the fall season, losing only to no other than the Valley with Mobile Zane himself. So definitely not something to kind of dwell on and improvement, and I definitely love to see Excellence Era competing against them. You have to compete against better teams. That's the only way to get better, and that is what we're providing here for the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy. Guys, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Shout out to Coach Deku. He was the amazing play-by-play at the finish and also doing the analyst throughout today as well. So, Deku, I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Every time.
Every time. Guys, and that is going to close it out. Just a little bit look at that schedule, a little bit of walkthrough of what we've seen today. Straw Hats versus TSC in Series 1 with TSC getting the sweep. Dark Immortals going against Nefarious. Nefarious also get the sweep as well, but Dark Immortals showing some impressive movement with Micro and Macro and gave them a little bit of a harder time. Definitely through time, I will like to see Dark Immortals progress even more, and I think they have the capability to do it. And to finish off today, we saw a brand new team for the first time in the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy. Excellence Era go up against the grand finale, the grand finalists over there in NACT, the Simpsons themselves, and we're taken down in a sweep. But definitely game 1 was super explosive. Game 2, we just kind of seen them get more online, and the Simpsons had more of a game plan on how to kind of counteract and close it out a little bit earlier for that sweep. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. That is going to be the end of today's stream. That is going to be the end of week 2. This was day 4, and I appreciate y'all. This is the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy. My name is Wheezy, and I'm your host. And I hope you guys can tune into future events. Make sure you guys sign up and register if you're interested in joining the MLSA with your team. If you guys want to compete against these top teams and prepare for Mobile Legends Bang Bang North America MPL, you have to sign up using our official Discord server, right? The link is provided in the comments on every single social media platform, so definitely do that. Speaking of social media, we are officially live on YouTube with exclusive content for all of these teams and so much more being provided over there. So make sure you guys drop a subscribe over there for the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy, as we are on fire. These teams are on fire, and we're only going to go up from here. As always, guys, I appreciate y'all. We will be live again next Monday for King of the Hill, where these teams will be competing in a best of 1, trying to climb the ladder. Winning team stays, losing team walks. Definitely place your votes on who you guys think will be the future Kings this Monday. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Peace and love, baby. See ya!